All right. We are officially live. Thank you, everybody who's been waiting patiently for the stream to start. I know there's a lot of you. And first things first, we can't start a Bears stream without giving a toast to good old 51, Dick Butkus, rest in peace. The pinnacle of the Bears organization. You know, for however long the Bears have been around, over 100 years at this point. There has never been somebody more synonymous with the Chicago Bears than Dick Butkus. And I know that's perhaps a controversial statement, but he was the Chicago Bears. He was the embodiment of the Chicago Bears, both on and off the field. It's sad that we lost him, but I'm happy that he made it to 80, especially in the era that he played. That is no small feat. So rest in peace, Dick. One of the greatest to ever do it, on and off the field.
Great person, great player.
Originally, by the way, I'm sure some of you have seen the stream title. We were going to do shots of Malort every time that the Bears got scored on. I think that given the circumstances, it's better if we have more celebratory shots tonight. So I switched it, and I'm going to be doing shots of Malort every time the Bears score tonight. And it will be full shots. If it was getting scored on, I'd probably do half shots for field goals and full shots for scores just so that I didn't die. But, you know, with the Bears offense being what it is, I don't think I'm in too much danger if I do full shots for both. So every time the Bears score tonight, thank you, Fitzy, for sending me this bottle, by the way. I have liquid asshole itself, Jepson's Malort. Pride of Chicago, doing full shots tonight every time they get points on the board. Chat, how you doing? By the way, forgot to ask you guys how you guys are doing. We got close to 200 in here already. I assume we're going to get several more than that by the time the game kicks off. We'll be kicking off a little bit after 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we're about half hour to kick off. EJ, before I continue, how are you feeling?
I'm sad, actually. It was a bit of a gut punch. I was feeling sort of, I don't get like super angsty before professional football games, Bears or not. And I just had a kind of gross feeling about this game. And I really thought it was about the game. And it might be like, we'll figure that out later tonight. But I did all my research this morning. I went back and watched both teams' previous games and went through all the regular stuff that I go through. And there's just a lot of matchup stuff that favors Washington. And we'll talk about all that. But I just kind of, it was odd. I was coming home from lunch and I had this like kind of creeping dread feeling. And I was like, what's this? Like, I don't normally dread football games. That's not a thing. And then like an hour later, news dropped that Dick Butkus died. And I was like, oh, maybe that was it. Maybe that was the bump in the universe. But I'm all right. Butkus was a great player. There's a lot of former Bears that I probably don't really want to meet. There's a bunch of former Bears that I, would really love to meet. Butkus was certainly on that list. Great Bear. So that's just kind of a bit of a downer. The fact that the Bears, I think, are probably going to get stomped in several categories tonight is also difficult to stare down the barrel of. But overall, it's football. We get to watch it. We get to share it with all of you. Thanks for showing up. This isn't exactly a prime time matchup in terms of we think it's going to be a competitive game, but we appreciate that you show up every Thursday, hang out with us. Certainly big appreciation to Fitzy. Now, he wasn't playing favorites. He tried to send me a bottle too. But, being, Irish, sometimes better lucky than good. There was none in range. He could not get it to me fast enough. So I get to dodge the Malort bullet. I, however, have had it, and you revealed to me pre-show that you have never had it.
Yeah,
so
I thought that I had, and then I looked at the bottle and I was like, oh, no, I must have tasted some other terrible liqueur at some point in my life because I didn't recognize the bottle.
So I believe, and I shared this with you pre-show, that you will be surprised. It's kind of staggering stuff. And I know you've tasted liquors far and wide. It is in its own category. So it'll make good content. Might not make a fun evening / morning for you, but it's it is unique, and I use that word very sparingly. I have not come across anything else quite like it.
There's a fun story from Prohibition how there was a loophole in the law that if something was medicinal but alcoholic, you could still serve it if it was medicine. And if you guys were in the stream last week, you heard this, but the cops went to the guy who was making Malort and was like, "We need to try this. You're selling alcohol. You can't be selling this." And he's like, "No, it's medicinal." And so they tried it, and they're like, "Wow, this is so bad that literally nobody would buy this unless it was for medical purposes." So they actually let them make and sell Malort during Prohibition because it was that terrible. So fun times.
Yeah.
Jared Cole for super chat. RIP to the legend Dick. Here's to a great man and a player. Cheers, bootleg fam. Cheers to you as well, Jared. We had a couple other super chats right before that. Mono for 5. I like the Bryce Young pick, but hate the process. Did the Panthers sneakily have one of the worst off seasons of any team in the league? Ooh.
I've gotten this question a couple of times this week, in different forms, but they're all sort of poking at the same thing. Like, did the Panthers
miss?
Error?
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it's comparative. Now, we talked a lot about Anthony Richardson on the recap pod. Came out Wednesday this week because we were traveling earlier in the week. Obviously, we've talked a ton about CJ Stroud because he is currently powering the Texans. And I think there's that very real sense from Panthers fans like, hey, obviously we had a top pick. We could have had anybody we wanted. Ooh, the shiny thing over there. Ooh, the shiny thing over there. And not just focusing on, hey, Bryce Young is a Panther now, and where's he going to be in a couple of years? And I am not out on that. It is going to be a slower start, quite obviously. It has been a slower start. The process, I understand the question about like how they went about it. I initially, after Reich was named the coach, thought that Stroud was going to be the pick for quite a while, and I pivoted right before the draft. About 3 or 4 weeks before the draft, I was like, no, it's going to be Young. Like, it's going to be Young. It's going to be Young. Turns out to be Young. I actually still – there's a piece of me that still thinks Stroud would have been a slightly better fit, and it's not necessarily because of how well he's done with Slowick. That's recency bias. Like, that has a lot to do with Bobby Slowick, and credit CJ Stroud too. But I actually thought CJ Stroud was a better fit for what Reich liked to do, but I actually felt like it probably wasn't going to be Reich's choice because it's a three-headed monster in Carolina. You've got an owner who's very involved. You've got a GM in Scott Fitterer, and then you've got a new coach who they just hired, not a rookie head coach, veteran head coach in Reich, but it didn't feel like it was going to be Reich's call solely, and I felt like the other two were going to lean towards Young for a couple of other reasons. I still think Bryce Young has a chance to be a good NFL quarterback. And there are some people that are already kind of amazingly out on that after like 3-4 games. They're like, nope, he's never going to be the guy. And I'm like, well, are you sure? Like, yes, Carolina's in bad straits right now. They need to square around a lot of things. They do not have a singular problem. Their offensive line has not played nearly as well as they did at the end of last year, and they reinvested in it. I think that's been probably the biggest surprise. And that'll sort of crush any offensive attack. Chicago's a great case in point. They reshuffled the offensive line, had no stability, and haven't been able to do anything offensively. I'm not out on Bryce Young. I think it's going to take longer than it is, obviously, with Stroud and Richardson. That doesn't mean I don't think all three can be successful. I still think Bryce Young can be good.
The big thing is pressure. The Panthers' pass protection has been atrocious, like far worse than even the Bears, right? Like it's bad. Like they're one of the 3 or 4 worst in the entire league. I next to the Giants and God, who else was allowing a shit ton of sacks? But they're in that tier, right? Of just if it's 5-on-4, sorry, you're done. And the team has been reluctant to use more bodies and protection so far. Which has only compounded the issues because like Chandler Zavala has just gotten shelled. Icky hasn't looked great. Like the entire offensive line just hasn't played well. And Bryce, he dealt with some pressure at Bama in his last year, but nothing like this. Like absolutely nothing like this. And JT put out a great video today on week 4 against the Vikings, and like he just couldn't see the field because all he saw was just purple jerseys flashing in front of him. Even when the pocket was good, he was just antsy and erratic and rushing himself into even more pressure, not seeing the field. And there were some offensive design things which JT went through in terms of their answers for zero that just made no freaking sense schematically. But a lot of it was Bryce just not seeing the field because he was just under so much pressure. He was getting shelled, completely shelled.
Yeah.
And, you look at CJ Stroud and the Texans. I'm not saying the Texans' protection's been amazing because they've been mostly backups, but they've really, through scheme, made a concerted effort to keep him upright and clean, and we've seen that pay off. The Colts, again, protection hasn't been amazing, but it's been better than Carolina, and we've seen that pay off with Anthony Richardson too. Like, you just give him a little bit of time, and he can make some really special throws. So I think we're seeing that protection matters more than anything for most young quarterbacks, not named Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow is a very rare case where you can have absolutely terrible protection as a rookie and him still look good. But that's why Joe is Joe, right? And so overall, I just think as the offensive line improves, Bryce will improve, which is not an indictment on him, nor is it an indictment on Carolina to me.
Yeah, we should throw a slip up if we have one cooked, and if not, we should cook one up because folks are asking, and it'll give them a little bit of time if you want to tell that, or of course oppose it because you think we're idiots, which is a fully reasonable strategy. Like, I'm never going to get on you for that.
So the slip that I filled out already, and I'll throw this link actually in the chat too if you guys want to tell this, or if you want to fade it, either way. But I'll throw the link in there. So I got Justin Fields higher than 192.5 passing. I got DJ Moore higher than 52.5 receiving. I got Roschon higher than 22.5 rushing. I got Sam Howell. So this one's interesting. I know that the Washington offensive line's gotten shellacked as well, just like Carolina, and Sam's taken a ton of sacks. Bears pass rush is not a threat, folks. Okay, so I took lower than 2.5 sacks taken. I'm actually surprised the line was even that high. And then I took Terry higher than 3.5 first downs. So this slip reflects not an offensive bonanza by any means, but I do expect to see some offense in this game, right? The Washington secondary is incredibly vulnerable. We've gone over that in the last few weeks, each week, right? And the Bears defense is terrible. So if there was ever a game for Justin and DJ to go off again, other than Denver, an equally terrible defense, it's going to be this one, just because the Washington secondary is so incredibly vulnerable. I don't think that, like, we saw Forbes struggle with AJ last week. I don't think Forbes can handle DJ Moore either. So if they follow DJ around with Forbes, just like they had him follow AJ last week, I expect similar results. So if there was ever a time for him to go off, it's this week. And then Roschon, 22.5, with how good he is at breaking tackles, that could be one run. So I'm basically just betting on Roschon doing Roschon things there. And then on the other side, Sam Howell and Terry, I expect to continue their brilliant season that they're having so far. So any complaints with that slip, EJ?
Not complaints, just places where I feel like Roschon thing, I'm with you. It is very tough to run against the Washington defensive front. They are a bunch of monsters, and they have played incredibly well. So that's just kind of one of those high variance picks. I should just term those the Khalil Shakir picks because, yeah, they can, but will they is more the question. Love Roschon, but the run designs from the Bears in the rewatch, even in the Denver game, which has been their most successful offensive game so far this year, look really uninspired. The passing game was much better, but also not as good as it looked, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the run designs, especially the QB runs, looked pro forma. They looked like they weren't into it at all, and that included Justin, like the line, everybody. They're like, oh, everybody said we had to do QB run, so we're doing a QB run. Hey, Denver, we're going this way, and I'm going to go, oh, okay, we got tackled. Can we get on to the next play? Like, we really didn't want to do that. That was the feeling I got from the QB run game, but the run game in general, until the fourth quarter, was not super great. Khalil Herbert started to rip some off. Roschon struggled a little bit. But in general, the run blocking from that line combination was not great. Now, the pass game did look better, but it was amazing if you went back. This is a devil in the details thing. As I rewatched that game this morning, Denver made them look good. And that was
Denver makes
multiple
everybody
times.
look good.
Right, but it was multiple times in multiple ways. And it was like key breaks at the right time. Oh, that was an incomplete pass. Oh, there's a penalty away from the ball. You get to keep the drive going. And they got a lot of help. And my sort of overwhelming feeling coming out of that rewatch was Washington has its struggles. They are not going to give the Bears anywhere near as much help as Denver did. And the other thing is people look at Cole Kmet's performance. I've been a Cole Kmet detractor. And they go, oh, my God, he had 9 catches. He had 2 touchdowns. If you look at 1 touchdown, they literally broke cover 3. Like 42 and 49 went, you got him, you got him. He runs up the field unopposed, and that's not even 7 on 7. That's 7 on air. I mean, nothing against Cole Kmet, but he was literally uncovered. Justin threw him a ball in the end zone. He had nobody within 5 yards of him, and he caught it. That looks great. The other touchdown, Justin is doing the Mahomes thing, rolling to the right, drawing the coverage in, waiting. Kmet's just standing there, literally, like he's running. To his credit, he stopped. He didn't run himself into coverage or run himself to the sideline. He's literally standing there, and Justin goes, hey, man, there you go. There's your touchdown. So everybody looks at the stat line and goes, man, all these catches, and there's a lot of at least 3 of those catches, including the long touchdown catch or longish touchdown catch down the seam, where Denver just busted. They just didn't cover him. And I'm like, yeah, the Washington secondary has problems, but they're not that bad. And Washington's been really good against tight ends. So if you're looking for a back to earth moment for anybody tonight, like Cole Kmet is probably not going to get any free runs tonight. He'll be lucky to get 45, maybe 50 yards. He might get a touchdown again. Touchdowns are kind of like interceptions and sacks. They're super high variance. Other than that, I don't know. Slip seems pretty cool. You're betting on first downs again, which is just weird to me.
Yeah, but it always hits. Every time it always hits.
I'm all for the things that hit. The more times we can say, yep, we put a slip together and it actually happened, all the better. But I just haven't quite gotten into the groove of betting on first downs. It's only slightly better than betting on kickers.
I'll throw this into chat one more time. Again, if you use promo code BOOTLEG when you sign up, they'll match your deposit up to $100. So whatever you put in up to that 100, they will double it. You get a whole bunch of extra cash to play with on the site. You can use it for pick'ems. You can use it for other sports. You can use it for drafts, for daily fantasy, whatever you want to do with it. So again, whatever you feel comfortable depositing, double it for free. Promo code BOOTLEG. Thank you once again to Underdog for sponsoring our entire show this year. With that,
somebody asked what I was drinking because I'm not drinking Malort. I showed this to you. I got this at the liquor store yesterday. I've not had it before. I'm pretty impressed with this. This is Egan's single malt Irish whiskey. This is the Fortitude triple distilled single malt Irish whiskey, matured exclusively in Pedro Ximénez casks. It is really interesting. It's got almost a little bit of a port cask finish to it, but has a little bit of that woody taste.
It's the sherry cask, I think, right?
But it's almost a mix between sherry port and the Madeira casks that you got from the one you got from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for Wiggle.
It has elements of all 3 of those with what I'll say is just a pretty straight, clean Irish whiskey that's been manipulated with wood and several other flavors. And I like it. It's pretty affordable, 50-ish, not a super expensive bottle. And as my people do when somebody passes on, drink a little bit of the holy water and wish them well.
Sean Tron for $10, our next super chat here. Last preview episode, you said it might not be Caleb Williams' choice to declare for the draft. Y'all smashed enough to spill that tea. I feel hell of a QB carousel coming, and he'd definitely spin it. We are not the only ones to say that, for what it's worth. But I will say, I had heard a long time ago that Caleb was not in a hurry to go to the NFL if the team at number 1 is not who he wants to be with, right? He is thinking long-term. More specifically, his family's thinking long-term of the first contract, not what they care about. Second and third contract, definitely what they care about. And to maximize that third contract or second contract, which by the time he would have to sign it, you're probably pushing $300 million deals over a 5-year period, right? You're pushing 60, 65 million by the time that he's going to get that second contract. Where he is will significantly impact what that dollar figure is, right? And I'm talking in terms of who's the owner writing the check versus how successful will he be in that franchise to warrant that kind of deal in the first place. So, yes, there are surefire number one quarterbacks that have gone to downtrodden franchises like, say, Joe Burrow to Cincinnati and turned them around and earned record-breaking money and done all that. But tell you what, it's a hell of a lot easier to turn around a competently run franchise that is already competently run, that also has an owner with deep pockets. So, if Arizona's sitting there at number one, I'm not sure that he wouldn't just go back and take his 10 plus million in NIL money and chill and then wait for a more an owner with more resources to have that pick. Or I'm not sure that he wouldn't force Arizona to trade it to whatever team he actually wanted to go to. He's one of the rare prospects that actually has that leverage because he is so good and because he makes so much in NIL. Like, he doesn't have to come out. So from what I had heard a long time ago and what many other people in the national media have put out there since, because they're trying to make it very clear, he doesn't have to come out if he doesn't really want to.
Okay. I'm going on record. You can quote this. You can pull it on Freezing Cold Takes. You can do whatever you want. He's coming out.
But will it be to the team that's actually earned the number one pick?
I don't really care who it's to. Like, he is going to be the number one overall pick one way or another. And regardless of which team he goes to, and that's really what this whole debate centers on, is that team the best place for his long-term health and blah, 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 blah. I get all that. As the number one overall pick in the draft, you are guaranteed 40 to 50 million bucks right now under the current CBA. 40 to 50 million is a whole lot more than 10 million. And he can tear his knee anytime. And folks know that. Like, and the NIL money is going to be 10, 11, 12, maybe 15 million. If I came to you tomorrow, Mr. Brett Coleman, and said, guess what? I got an offer on your business. I'm going to give you, here's your choice, 15 million. Or, because I'm feeling generous, offer B is I'm going to give you 50 pretty much by the time he finishes his rookie contract and they give him his option. Do you want 15 or do you want 50?
What I think it comes down to is again, you're correct.
Yeah.
But he's going to get the 40 to 50 no matter what team he's playing for because, again, everything's determined by where you're slotted. So he's going number one. It's a matter of using that leverage and the threat of it to Eli Manning his way into a different team picking at that number one spot, right? Like that's really what I'm talking about here.
If it's Chicago and they have been successful in their offseason and they have hired Ben Johnson, let's just say theoretically, and Caleb and his camp, because it really is his camp. This is when we say Caleb, it's Caleb and his orbit. And they are satisfied that a Ben Johnson is going to focus an offense and can build a modern and competent NFL offense around him. He's going to the third largest market in the country. Like, he'll do it for $50 million with a good offensive coach. Like, he'll do it. He's going to have DJ Moore. He's going to have, some other weapons. He will probably have some investment in the offensive line. He may, as the rare rookie, have say about that, which almost no rookie ever has say about personnel. He's coming out. It's $50 million. He's going number one overall. I actually heard something on the flip side of this that made me think about this in a different way today, which was a personnel executive saying about Justin Fields, there isn't anything he can do for the rest of the year that would dissuade the Bears from picking Caleb number one overall. Not because they don't like Justin, but like there is no amount of offensive output explosion wizardry that JF1 can create in the next 12 to 14 weeks, that if they end up with the number 1 overall pick, they would not go, yo, Caleb, you're a bear.
Yeah,
it's
done deal.
Because Caleb is Caleb.
Yeah.
That's nothing against Justin. It's nothing against anything else. It's if you're number 1 and you have that pick and Caleb is there, it doesn't matter. Like the rest of it just doesn't matter. You can't climb that hill. Caleb is going to go number 1. If you're number 1, you're going to pick him. And honestly, that was a Bears reference, but I started thinking about it, and I'll ask you the question. Like, how many teams in the NFL wouldn't? Like, how many teams in the NFL would trade that pick away?
7.
And I think it's like 5.
And I'm talking about the ones that we're not talking about the ones that would be forced to trade it. Like I think there are teams again that are on a short list of teams where he's like, I'm not going to you, trade the pick.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about NFL teams that have a quarterback that they are set with, that they believe can reach heights that Caleb is being projected to. And to me, that's about 5 teams.
It's Kansas City. City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Chargers.
And now the list gets a little shaky. Like
probably Baltimore. Again, we're talking about a unanimous MVP here, right? Like,
and
Baltimore.
Somebody they just reinvested.
And somebody just reinvested in.
They've
Philly,
got a lot of money in the hole there.
Philly with Hurts.
I think I'm not sure about that one.
100%. 100%.
Well, I see the reasoning, but I'm not that one. That's where I start to tilt. I'm like, look, I love Jalen Hurts, but Howie is a wheeler dealer, and if he has the option to bring in a super weapon to the NFC, because the funny thing about the first 4 quarterbacks we listed there, they're all AFC.
Well, the last one would probably be Lawrence, who's another AFC. But I think Hurts might be the only NFC one, like out of all of them.
Here's again where it gets ticklish. I don't disagree in terms of Trevor Lawrence, overall number 1 pick, has showed, I don't even want to say flashes, has shown stretches, has shown games where he can be that guy, can take it over. And there is a familiarity factor. Like, hey, we've already schooled this guy up. He's familiar with our coach. He's familiar with our system. That has some relevance here. But honestly, if Trevor kind of fits and starts for the rest of the year and the Jags really underachieve, of course, they wouldn't have the number 1 overall pick. But again, that's not the theoretical for this question. At that point, would they not reset?
Because they haven't paid Trevor yet, you can extend the clock on a cheap quarterback, right? And they would get a ton of picks for Trevor. Like, you tell me the Giants, if they end up like middle of the pack, are not throwing like every asset they have at the Jags to get Trevor.
I'm just saying, after that first 4, the list gets a little shaky, and it gets shaky quick, not necessarily because of the other quarterbacks in the NFL or their pedigree or their position or anything else. Literally because you see the things that Caleb Williams can do, and so many NFL teams are thirsty for the ability to go, hey, we're just going to throw it on our quarterback and he's going to win us games. There are very few teams in the NFL that are in that position. And a lot of teams that want to be in that position.
Somebody said Purdy in the chat.
Purdy.
Well, he's never lost a game, EJ.
He is the apple of Kyle Shanahan's eye, and I could, in a very twisted way, see it. I mean, they thought Trey Lance was the next big answer. They threw 3 first-round picks at that. So I mean, I get it, but yeah, I would love to give Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch some truth serum and ask him that question, because that would be fun.
What about Indy and Houston? That's an interesting one to me, because like what we've seen so far from Stroud and Richardson is like they hit and they're cheap. I feel like
I think they're ready to trade stuff away for assets for that and build around those guys because they have them. So I would say maybe in a very interesting way you lump them in because of situation with those other 4 teams. But it was a fascinating question to me. Again, it was Bears focused, but it really made me think about the rest of the league because of what we do. And I was like, how many teams would stare that in the face and turn it down? And the answer was 4 or 5 probably. Yeah. And Indy and Houston are interesting additions as a sort of with asterisks, but reality says, yeah, but other than that, folks, if you believe your NFL team is super entrenched in their starter and they're staring Caleb Williams in the face and they say no, you're not correct.
JJ had an interesting point for $5. As a Steelers fan, my worst fear is the Bengals getting the first pick if Burrow doesn't get healthy, the amount of assets they'd get in a trade. They would get the entirety of like 2 straight drafts for Caleb, 100%. Like, that's what he's worth. I didn't see who won the toss here.
Looks like Bears are going to receive.
Cool.
I think, because Fields has his helmet on and Howell doesn't. That's my very expert analysis right there.
Low-key, he may be looking for that Walmart money. I mean, if there's one franchise who would give him literally whatever he wanted, yeah, you're correct.
Well, also, I mean, just quickly about Burrow. He's 100% not right. He didn't look right week before last on Sunday. He really didn't look right. He is trying to play through an injury. He is injured. He is not anywhere near 100%. He, in my opinion, is degrading, not improving by playing. And if I was the Bengals coaching staff or maybe even ownership, if they want to meddle, I would sit him for a couple of games because he's out there. He can't move in the way that he typically can. He can't set a base and throw. We've seen that over and over again. He doesn't look like Joe. And he got hit a bunch. Like, again, the Titans beat the hell out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not what you want to see for your franchise, everything that you just signed a naming rights deal in your stadium so you could pay his contract for. Like, no, you do not want to see that guy out there getting just absolutely shellacked.
Nick Wright made an interesting point that it's not about the worry of a calf strain turning into an Achilles injury. It's about the worries of a calf strain turning into a broken collarbone because he can't get away. And I was like, that's a good point.
Well, he's just, if you watch the Titans game, there is no way to look at Joe Burrow right now and not be concerned. Like, he got beat. Like, he got hit as hard as a quarterback in the NFL gets hit at all, ever anymore, multiple times. And it's rugged. All right. Bears got the ball. Let's see what this game actually turns into despite all our predictions.
Let's see if they can make me take my first shot early.
Dude, if they score on the first play, I'm going to laugh my head off. Oh, deep PA shot. Oh.
Yeah, you're definitely about 5 seconds ahead of me. Oh, just a couple inches too deep.
Yeah, give me any 6'4" wide receiver right there. Give me Alec Pierce. Give me.
Well, if he left a little bit more air on it where he'd have time to run under it, that would have been ideal.
Well, and Mooney turned towards the outside, which meant he had to make kind of a 3/4 turn.
Yeah.
It's just a question of he's looking at the boundary, and then he has to like literally twist his body all the way. That's a rough, catch or try to catch. I love that the Bears tried it on first down.
Yeah, take your shot.
Let's go. Let's open it up. You're going to have to run with us. We've got some fast guys. Like, don't just pack it in and shut the run down. I'm glad they tried it. Like, it didn't work out. That isn't always a bad thing. If you're in the script, take a shot.
Also, remember what I said about the Washington corners being very vulnerable. There you go. Mooney got by him instantly.
He could have caught that. So it was off his fingers. Very close.
All right, so we got 3rd and 9. Not ideal circumstances here, but very familiar territory for the Bears.
I was going to say, he's got him. He's got him past the sticks. He's got him past the sticks.
Did he make it? Okay, yes, he caught it.
He sure did.
There we go.
He sure did. There is a stat out there about the offensive efficiency of the Bears measured when they target DJ Moore as opposed to targeting other folks. And that's a little okey doke route right there.
Nice move.
So watch this route. That's Moore.
No, I'm talking about the corner that was on him. I think it was St. Juste, right? Yeah, St. Juste.
Yeah, it was St. Juste.
God, what a move.
Yeah, great veteran move, right? Give him the little dip to the inside, hard stab, and then just out, basically run the back half of a sort of bang 7. Like,
all right, now we're 21.
Great connect.
I called timeout.
And I'm impressed by that. I appreciate that Justin is seeing those, because through the first 3 weeks, he was not seeing those. There were some of those open every single game. There were some absolute breaks where guys were open downfield, and he just wasn't trusting it. Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Well, Tevin's active, but he's not in.
I mean, he might not all the way be back, so it's, only get on the field if you need him.
But there were predictions that he was going to play tonight, like a lot, which surprised me.
I wonder if he might have just tested it pregame and just didn't feel.
Oh, nope, he's in now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, he isn't. That's Borum. Still have white hair at left guard. Okay, they're going to try the run. They're going to try the run. They're going to find that result multiple times tonight. The Washington defensive line is no joke. It's a bunch of high picks and high dollar investments, and they play up to it for the most part, all 4 of them. It is not an easy front to run on.
If they can be got anywhere, it's in the secondary, honestly. And again, we talked about it on the show earlier this week. Like, they got to stop with all the quarter stuff. They don't have the dudes to keep up.
I'm making my Malort face, and I didn't even have a shot of it.
So that first Montez Sweat appearance looks like it. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit. He had a cool week last week after having several hot weeks in a row. He just okey doked the rook. He just took Darnell Wright for a ride, because he's a vet and Darnell Wright's still learning. And good for him. Like, if you're Montez Sweat, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're Darnell Wright, don't let it happen again. Like,
yeah, well, basically, don't trust that he's going to stack on the run and just stay there. Like, as soon as he reads pass, he's going to get off.
Okay, that's a great pocket. All right, everybody, focus on the screen. Focus on the screen. This is historic stuff. This is Brett Coleman's first shot ever of Malort.
Of course, first fucking drive. Cheers, guys.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
What the fuck is that?
That is everything I hoped it would be. Oh, that's lovely.
The label says,
Sydney.
has the aroma and full-bodied flavor of an unusual botanical. The botanical is distilled asshole. What the fuck?
The botanical is like used gym socks and gasoline. Like, it is bad news, man. You better hope that Washington tightens it up a little bit.
I actually teared up. What the fuck?
I saw the gag reflex. That's all I was looking for.
Oh, Jesus.
I told you would be surprised.
All right.
Are you surprised?
We got our touchdown. They better get blown the fuck out from here on out. Oh, God.
Oh, I love it.
That is not okay, EJ. That is not okay.
You realize how lucky I felt when Fitzy said, dude, there's none in range. I physically can't get it to you in time. And I was like, oh, I'm shattered. Really?
All right. When you come down in the summer for us to do our next off-season series, you're doing this. If I have to do it, you have to do it.
No, we'll make a short out of it. We'll make content. It'll be good times. But I was pleased this week to be given a reprieve, because I have indeed tried it, and it is indeed some fearsome stuff. If you have not experienced Malort, it is, again, I don't use this word lightly, unique. Unique is a superlative, means there is only one. Yeah, the fumes are good too, huh?
Yeah, I think that actually just is gasoline. Like, not smells of. I think it just is.
Oh, Fitzy, thank you for the super chat. Cheers to a long night of number 1 to number 2. Oh, what you could have said cheers to a long morning of number 1 to number 2, and it would have been super appropriate.
My wife is going to come home and I'm going to walk out of this office looking like I just got back from Nam. This is just going to be a bad night for me.
Oh, Fitzy, you've done a good thing that is a terrible thing, and they are the same thing, and it is perfect.
Yeah, so. It's only 35% alcohol, but I feel like that's just a lie. Like, it's no way.
No way. Man. Yeah, it's violently bad. Something else. So, I mean, back to the game for a second. The Bears carry over some of their offensive success that they experienced really only against Denver, which we all said, look, Denver is a downtrodden defense who is struggling really badly right now. That's true. You can't say the same thing about Washington. You could say the same thing about the Washington secondary, if you like, after last week. But you can't say the same thing about the front four. They got a sack on this. This is the high variance. Like, hey, if you don't get a sack, we might throw it to DJ Moore and score. That's a heck of a thing. I feel like last year the Bears' big unlock was in week 6 after the bye. They went, hey, we have literally the best running quarterback in the NFL. We should run him some because we really don't have anything else. And I feel like the unlock that is coming in what is week 4 and week 5 for the Bears this year is, hey, we have DJ Moore and he's actually a number 1. We're not used to that around here. We should throw him the ball a lot. They throw him the ball 2 times on the initial drive, including the touchdown. And as a result, they end up with points. Now we get to see Sam Howell kind of let it off the chain. And as you know, I'm super excited about that.
Sam Howell's had a really nice year. Again, another franchise that would absolutely take Caleb if he's available. But Sam Howell has had a nice year. Like, I think that there is a future there for Sam Howell in Washington. And I think part of the reason why they're not even going to be close to getting Caleb is because of Sam Howell. Like, they're going to be too good of a team with him to even like they won't even have a top 15 pick, let alone a top 1 pick. It's a good squad.
All right, quick thoughts on the Commanders All Blacks in terms of the uniforms.
I think out of all their uniforms, it's probably the second best one, I would say.
I'm with you. I actually enjoy them a little bit. I think there are some shifts that, look, if you're trying to make it an ode to Army being in the nation's capital or whatever, like you could have done a couple of other things to even enhance them a little bit. But as they are, I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of the Commanders branding.
The logo I don't like, but the color scheme is classic, right?
You know? Yeah, no, I like them. I know people that dislike them. Just, hey, throw it into chat. If you like these, let us know. If you dislike these, ooh,
split back formation. Hello.
Billings
went nowhere, but Billings has had
all right.
God, he's had a good year.
We need to talk about Billings. He had a bunch of pass rush reps in week 1, which he is not known for. He is the plugger and whatever else. I'm just, as a Bears fan, here to say Andrew Billings can stay the hell around. Like, that guy can play football. He has a very defined role in this team, and he has played head and shoulders above what they paid him for. He's been one of the very few bright spots on the Bears this year. So shout out to Andrew Billings. He has been an absolute force.
One of the best personnel additions they've made over the last few years, easily. It won't go away.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It just keeps sort of it. Well, the thing about it being medicinal, think of it like Vicks Vapor Rub, except on the inside. All right. Trent Taylor actually gets to return a punt. I watched the Broncos game. Trent Taylor was a little bit, and we got to see this with Turpin live in Dallas on Sunday. Like, Turpin was a caged animal, man. All he wanted was a punt he could return. He was so hyped to get a punt he could return. He really didn't get it most of the day. Trent Taylor, not exactly the same thing, but throughout the whole Denver game, he was like, I'm basically being paid to be a punt catcher. And he actually gets to take one and return it there. I think he's pretty excited about that. So
Miss Super Chat. Who do I start? Chase, Waddle, Tank, Watson. I'm assuming Christian Watson. Zay and Wilson from Arizona.
Oh, Wilson's been sneaking up.
Yeah,
We'll talk about Michael Wilson. We haven't talked about him yet on the pod, but we will. He looks low key very legit.
Chase and Waddle, you kind of have to. The hard one is Tank versus Watson versus Zay versus Wilson. Ooh, let me look at the schedule. I can't remember who's playing who.
Got to go to the matchups. You got to go to the matchups.
I mean, that's because I mean the Dolphins are playing the Giants. Like you got to play Waddle.
Oh, somebody asked about beer. By the way, I'm rocking an AFL, that is Australian Rules Football, koozie from, again, Fitzy. Thank you for that. That was a Bears Over Beers care package he sent. But this is one of the best beers available at Lumen Field that nobody drinks. So they have like craft beer stations at Lumen Field. You don't want a Modelo, which is usually what I grab on the way in just because it's the bottom of the ramp where the seats are. But halftime, you want a better beer. Sea Pine Brewing, which if I had a better arm, I could hit from the stadium. We actually did a fan meet up there. This is their Mosaic Pale. And nobody drinks the Sea Pine at like the craft beer station. I always go up, I'm like, do you have any Sea Pine? And they're like, yeah. And it is a lovely beer to enjoy in a stadium. So, yeah.
Out of those other options, I think I would go Tank or Christian Watson, but I kind of lean Tank there for me for this week. Going against Atlanta, that's where I kind of go with it. Again, EJ, the options were Tank, Watson, Zay, and Wilson. Out of those four, who's your
Zay Flowers?
Yeah. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Zay, but Tank is more because he's so secondary, but he can steal touchdowns. So again, it depends on touchdowns are great in every league, but like that's the gig. So Bears back on offense, force a punt, which I'm impressed with.
They do exist.
Oh,
please,
okay.
EJ.
I had to go and say pregame that the QB run game looked not inspired, and Luke Getsy wants to prove me wrong.
That was a nice little backfield action where you turn in left and then roll back. Yep. That was cool. I like that.
Well, if you're smart and you're Luke Getsy and you watch last week's Broncos film, one of the things that the Broncos did is send pinchers on a lot of plays. And by pinchers, I mean edge rushers who are looking for Fields to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it a couple of times. That's why they won the game, right? Ooh, a rare Robert Tonyan sighting.
Just matriculating the ball down the field. Let's see.
Yeah, so Denver sent those pincher edge rushers because they know that Fields, when he turns his back a lot of times, is going to reverse the other way and boot out. And a lot of times when he reversed, including on what turned out to be the quote-unquote winning touchdown, I realized it was winning field goal, the Jonathan Cooper fumble return was DJ turned around and, or Justin turned around and there was a guy in his face, like in his chest. Oh, that's a miss.
He got held a little. He got just a little tug at the top of the route. They didn't throw a flag on it. They could have if they wanted to, but
but you just saw Fields tap his chest.
Yeah.
That's on me. Like you were open. You were literally open. I just missed you. I led you too far. That's two misses to Mooney. I'm glad they're throwing to Mooney. They should be. They haven't for the first month of the season for the most part. And he's missed him twice by a sum total of about 14 inches.
Yeah,
so
like nothing. And Mooney knows it too. Mooney knows it.
Yeah, so keep it up. Oh, this is what I want to see.
Empty on second and 10.
What?
God, did you see Wright murder that edge or the DB out in the edge?
I did, but what I'm more impressed with is like that is such a slight tolerance play. Like the defensive end just missed getting his hand in it. Like DJ Moore just missed getting tackled as soon as he caught it, and instead they actually like pay it off and get a first down out of it, which is kind of crazy. Now we go tush push, and
we're not the Eagles. It doesn't work.
Well, we'll
Are they giving it to him?
I'm not sure. This is one of my favorite subtext stories of the entire NFL season, which is, man, the Eagles make that look so easy. We should all just do it. And then they try it, and their quarterback doesn't squat 600 pounds, and they're like, why can't we pay it off? By the way, one of the saddest tush-push attempts ever took place in last week's Bears game because Russell Wilson was
That's not the guy you want to run it from.
He was not having it. He was like, no, this is a terrible idea. I might mess my face up. This is awful. We should not do this. But it's just this sort of hand-wringing of all the other, like, 31 NFL teams going, why does this not look so easy for us? And the answer being, look, because you don't have the Eagles' offensive line and Jalen Hurts. That's why. But, you know, it seems basic to us.
See, Tom says, gents, over the remaining 13 games, let's say Fields throws 3,500 yards with a 20-5 TD to INT ratio, but the Bears only win 3 games. What do you do then?
Oh, they're taking Caleb. Like, I hate to tell you.
Well, they're not taking Caleb with 3 wins because they wouldn't be bad enough. But
you sure about that?
I think the first overall pick's not going to have 3 wins.
Oh
no. You being ahead of me is just making this. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. You got tackled. We're good.
I know this is excruciating
this
for you.
This is terrible
for
me.
Khalil Herbert. This is like Two-Face, the Batman villain. You're like, Khalil Herbert, who I love, got a lot of yards, but he almost scored, and that means more Malort. Bad. So far, Bears have been impressive. Oh, okay. I will take the result of that play. Like, I am not unhappy with that as a Bears fan.
Let's just say 3 wins for your scenario, Tom, puts the Bears at like the 4th overall pick.
Then no Caleb for them. That's the thing.
You're probably taking
your way up.
You're taking Jared Verse or Chop Robinson at that point because they need edge help desperately, and they're very good guys. They're very good players. So,
or they're taking an LT if they don't believe that their left tackle is going to come back.
Or they don't
healthy.
pay Mooney and just. I mean, depending on where the quarterbacks go, Marvin Jr. might be available. We'll see.
Oh, sorry, that's making my head hurt.
What you don't love Cole Kmet there in the red zone, EJ?
What I don't love is
Cole Kmet
middle screen against Washington with a non-dynamic player. Like, that's what I don't like. Like, you could say whatever you want about the result. It's not terrible. Except for he fumbled. The process is bad. Like, hey, I think this is exploitable, and the answer is no, it's not. And I'm not getting on him for fumbling. Like, if somebody puts a perfect shot on the ball, all the whole 3 points thing your high school coach told you, it doesn't work when there's a 300-pounder with arms as big around as your thighs punching at it. Like, it's not the same thing. So they get it back, which is good. They go right back to Kmet, which in this case, also kind of good.
I would go for it here.
I think I would too, because the variance is, nope. They're going to kick it because
they're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it because they're not smart.
Well, I think we're going to do half shots for field goals so I don't die tonight.
One thing I had forgotten about our time at DKR. So we've talked a lot about the fact that we were at Patriots Cowboys on Sunday. I happened to be at Kansas, Texas on Saturday before that. And one thing, DKR is the home stadium for University of Texas Longhorns. One thing I'd forgotten from our time last year at DKR is that they love that goddamn cannon. They will fire that when somebody sneezes. Like, they fire it at the end of the quarter. They fire it whenever anybody scores anything. I don't care, field goal, touchdown, whatever. And a lot of teams, like the Seahawks, let off fireworks when there's a field goal. I get it, but Longhorns will light that thing off at the end of the quarter. Anytime anybody scores, like, I swear to God, if somebody calls timeout, they're like, hey, let's light off 2 pounds
It's
of
Texas,
gunpowder.
dude. They got a lot of gunpowder laying around.
100%. 100%. But I had forgotten, and I swear to God, the gal in front of me, who was obviously, I believe she is the wife of a longtime Texas fan, instead of saying she is necessarily a longtime Texas fan, because she literally jump scared every time that thing went off. And Texas had a good game against Kansas, so that thing went off like 30 times throughout the game, and every time she like out of her seat. And I was like, wow, it's not going well for you. You might rethink this. But
all right, half shots for field goals, full shots for touchdowns. Again, we're trying to preserve, at this rate, we're trying to preserve my body.
We're
here.
literally just trying to preserve the rest of Brett, because the Malort is obviously going to preserve his liver.
Also, remember, we have another Bears TNF game later this season. I need to have enough for both of them.
Oh, God.
All right.
That sounds terrible. When is the other Bears TNF game? Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Did it get any better?
Not even a little bit. There's
Never
less of
does.
it. There's less of it, but it's a very efficient liquid. You wouldn't know.
It's a very efficient liquid.
It coats the tongue. It's just everywhere.
Oh, I shouldn't be enjoying this so much. I do apologize, but whoo. This was the thing I needed that I didn't know I needed. This was absolutely it.
It's like drinking the juice that pools at the bottom of a garbage bag. Like, that's what that is.
Yep. That is a fair description. I will accept that.
I resent the man who invented this. I know it's Swedish. It's supposed to be Swedish. I propose, for the sake of the rest of the world, that we nuke Sweden, because this is a crime. Okay?
Oh, man.
They need to pay for this.
Hear me out, picklebacks with Malort. Oh, Curtis.
God.
Maybe it's too bad things make a right, but somebody in the comments, and this was earlier on when we were talking about this, said that there was a coffee frother trick with Malort.
No, there's no amount of trick. It's a milk frother trick. There's no amount of trick that would work on this.
Well, whatever.
There's nothing that could save you from this, to me.
I was of that opinion. I'm thinking about lessening the hit here. So, nice. All right, Al showing off his legs. Nice little gain.
Almost got
definitely
crushed.
Part of his. Well, Sanborn pulled up on him, and I appreciate that from both players. Like, Howell went down, and Sanborn said, "Hey, you're going down. I'm not gonna light your grill up."
Brett just lost all of his Swedish subs. No, they would understand. They know what they did.
they would just move. Oh man, no, it's
Hinga dinga, we deserve it.
The Scandinavians are all over you at this point.
Malort's actually the tastiest Swedish drink. Yeah, this is the stuff good enough for export.
Oh, it's so wrong, but it's so true. Like, if you've ever had any kind of Scandinavian preserved fish with like lye.
No, never, never.
Lutefisk, boy, gasoline drink, gasoline fish. Maybe that's what it's for, is just washing it down and not countering the taste.
It's the only thing that'll stand up to it.
Yes.
That
seems the first.
It's like getting Godzilla
description.
to fight Ghidorah. Like, sometimes you just gotta let the two monsters hash it out,
Let them fight. Ken Watanabe. Yeah, but I don't want to let them fight in my stomach because I've had Lutefisk and I've had Malort, and I don't want them both at the same time.
All right, 3rd and 11 here. Bears defense playing inspired football tonight. Not going to lie.
So far. They actually get pass rush. They flush him with pass rush. What is going on? How is this possible? This is a Bears performance powered by Malort.
I will say the Washington pass protection has been arguably one of the 3 to 4 worst in the NFL. So this is like stoppable force meets movable object. But if there was any game where the Bears could get home at all, it's probably this one.
Yeah, and Howell left that pocket. He could have gone laterally to the right if he wanted to keep that as a pass play. He got tripped up. He thought he could make it. I understand the decision. That one I'm putting at least halfway on Howell because he had space within that pocket if he wanted to stay with the pass play. Oh, Trent Taylor gambling. Gets away with it.
He almost got killed there, too.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. There is no doubt about that. All right, I saw Jack back here in the chat. Want to get to that. Jack Hunter, 5 British pounds. Nice to see you, Jack. Morning, both. How's Bieniemy been for the Commanders' offense so far? The Chargers fan inside is glad he left the Chiefs, but I do want him to do well. Well, he's been better than what they had by far, and you can just tell the sort of mind meld, the mesh that is so important between play caller and quarterback. Like, that's one of the most important relationships in all of sports is building between him and Howell. You can tell that they're starting to trust each other. They're starting to see things the same way. And that is not good news for folks that will face the Commanders in the latter half of the season. They're not going to be a pushover. That defense needs to how should I say, patch the holes in its own dam before
not
the end
suck.
of the season. Yeah, I don't want to get on them too much. They have a lot of talent there, but the offense is certainly more capable than it was last year, and you're starting to see some inklings of they could be really dangerous down the stretch. Now, will they be? We'll see. Never for sure.
It's a long season. It's only been now 5 weeks.
Correct.
So, and again, how many times have we seen September
many.
teams look very different than November teams, right?
Yeah, many.
Dan got a thunder for $2. Sweden is also responsible for surstrumming. What is surstrumming? Do I even want to know what that is?
Dude, I don't know.
I'm afraid to Google that.
I might have missed that. Surstrumming. It's strange. Now,
Hold on. Let me look that up.
I don't know. Okay, you have that on your search.
It is a lightly salted, fermented Baltic Sea herring. Oh, yeah, the fermented herring. I didn't know that's what it was called. Yeah, I just know it's terrible. I will never, ever eat it. Ever.
Hey, next week, a rejuvenated Russell Wilson, and I do not say that in jest. He is like top 10 in a lot of quarterback metrics, which is kind of crazy, versus Mahomes.
I will have this for it, EJ, my holiday.
Oh, yes. I do not
KC's
have the holiday, nor can I get it, which I'm sort of a little bit more chuffed about. Oh, wait a minute. I believe we have a Tevin Jenkins sighting. We do.
Is he in as this
left guard?
Oh, he's left side now?
Let's go! All right. You know why I'm happy?
They're trying to kill me.
You know why I'm happy?
They're trying to kill me, EJ.
I'm not happy because they're trying to kill you. I actually like you.
The Bears clearly don't. Because the one time.
Because DJ is happy. And they brought DJ in. And did you realize it is the 15-year anniversary of Musha Muhammad saying that Chicago is where receivers go to die?
Yeah. Well, they've had a few good ones since then. You know, the B Marsh.
Right, but do you realize it's the 15-year anniversary of him saying that?
God, I feel
And so, I know, right? And DJ shows up. He gets, parlayed in a trade, and he is frustrated through the first 3 weeks, and rightfully so. And now, for the last 2 weeks, they've been like, hey, we're a lot better offense when we target that alpha receiver that we paid. Oh, this is good for the slip.
Is this the Roshan run that we needed?
This is a Roshan run.
Got about a half of it. We're good.
Yeah, it certainly helps. He's only had one, and it's half, so I'm down. The Bears were not getting this kind of push against the Broncos, period. Like, you did not see those holes, again, until the fourth quarter. Look at him throw a shot at the end of that run. I love me some Roshan. There's no secret there, but he punished that defensive back. He hit him right in the ribs.
By the way, the DJ Moore over. Hold on, let me throw it up here. The DJ Moore over has already. He's at 87, so we're good. Oh, Fields. Okay,
yeah.
At least it wasn't picked.
Right, and that's what I was like, oh, he got it away, but did he really? Okay, here comes the call. Are they going to let him get away?
Well, he was in the tackle box. It looked like it.
That did, but did he get it past the line of scrimmage?
I couldn't quite see the ball on my stream. So, by the way, his over-under was 192.5. He is at 145 already. So, DJ's already cashed. Fields is on track. Roshan needs 8 more yards, so we're almost at 3 out of 5.
I'm feeling good. Did you insure the slip?
I did. So,
yes.
As long as Howell doesn't take more than 1 more sack, then we're good. And then we just need Terry to get 4 first downs. So we're in decent shape. We're in decent shape here, guys.
I would agree. And they have not featured Terry yet. But again, if they go behind in this game points-wise deeply, like, you've got to figure that Terry is going to be a top target because they can get chunk plays on offense going to him more easily than they can. I mean, Jahan Dotson, sure. Like, that's another player that they can go to. Brian Robinson is more of, I would say, the glue that holds that offense together. You're not necessarily looking for him to get either explosive runs or pass plays. Yeah, he could get him from the tight end position, but literally, like, Terry's the top of that list. So you would expect him to get more targets in that case.
I'm trying to look up where is
catching up on super chats. A glow sky $9.99. Thank you very much, a glow sky. Bear season until today has felt like a shot of wormwood liquor. So enjoy your night, Brett. Keep up the good work, you two. Thank you. We will. That's the plan. Sincerely, a Bears fan that witnessed the Week 1 massacre live.
Oh, buddy.
I'm
sorry.
I'm deeply sorry for that. And R.I.P. Butkus. Indeed, our thoughts are with Butkus' family and friends tonight. It's never an easy time. Absolute Bears legend. Seemed like a really good, like, I'm not so sure that there's probably a lot of former NFL players that I would like to watch a game with, but like Butkus just seemed like a guy you could crack a beer with and watch a game, and he would just like call it like it is, which is very much the way we try and do it. So it just seemed like a very natural match. There we go.
Yeah. The ultimate Chicago Bear.
Yeah, hoping he's getting to do that. And he was always, he didn't mind poking around the edges either. When stuff was crappy, he was more than happy to go, stuff is crappy.
He wouldn't lie to you. That's what I loved about him.
I appreciated that. So,
Carlos Peterson, thank you for the $1. Appreciate you, Carlos, as well. Consti right below him, making his first appearance. Hello, Consti. As soon as I start betting against the Bears, they know how to play football. I hate my life. Yeah, that does tend to happen when it comes to Chicago Bears. They will only give you hope when you have no hope. And then they'll go right back to being terrible again. So we'll enjoy it for tonight, having zero expectations for the rest of the year. But for tonight, in honor of Dick, happy to see them rolling.
Yeah, you knew that they're probably, I'm sure the team got the news and, they're going to come out and play some inspired football. I really hope that the linebackers go out and hit somebody. Like, if ever there was a Butkus legacy, like, if you're Sanborn or Edwards or Edmonds, like, go out and just light somebody up. I mean, cleanly, but, like, go out and make sure they know you hit them.
Roshan's going to do it too. My God.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. He's going to do that from a different position, but he's in right now.
Also, on the other side of things, again, I cannot hammer home this point enough that Washington's defense is an issue. We had high hopes for it going into the year, but
oh yeah,
who got it?
I'm sorry, it's more like.
By the way, guess who didn't start DJ Moore? This guy. Guess who has him on the bench? Let's go.
I am sorry for that, but look at this catch. I am extremely glad that Justin Fields threw this ball. This is against Fuller, brother of a, good Chicago Bear. He's got his back turned. JT always says that means he's defending the width of his shoulder pads. He gets his hand up. I'm really glad Justin threw that ball. He's starting to develop that trust with DJ Moore where he's just like, hey, DJ's down there somewhere. I'm going to chuck it up. He was well covered. Like, Fuller was in his face, had his hand up. But DJ Moore is good enough to pay those off, and they weren't throwing. He wasn't even seeing him through the first 3 weeks, and he certainly wasn't throwing them until week 4. And that is a very good sign of growth if you're a Chicago Bears fan, for Justin to say, like,
it's changed. It's like Windex now. Why is it changing?
Because your taste buds are slowly dying from the first 2 doses. That is a tremendous throw by Justin. It is a great catch by DJ Moore. And look, we all know that primary wide receivers get happy when they get touches. Obviously, when they get touchdowns, it's even more so. And when they don't, they get unhappy. They get unsettled. They get a lot of questioning about, why did I come here? Well, again, it wasn't his choice. He got traded. But, like, the Chicago Bears are going to work a lot better when they focus on DJ Moore.
I need to.
Really? Okay, mouthwash that. Is that Dourley's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
good choice.
You know what? That helped.
Oh, man.
That helped. Not going to lie. So if you guys are ever drinking Malort, mouthwash yourself with some 12-year rum. You're good to go.
I think there are a lot of things that can make Malort better taste-wise. But, shooey.
Tonight's not going to be a good night, EJ.
No, you're going to suffer.
It's going to be. I ordered some carb-heavy food before this game, snacking on some fries and chicken tenders because, like, I feel like I'm going to need something in my stomach.
Yeah.
I still don't think I fortified myself enough. This is not going to be good.
No, I don't believe there is fortification enough for I'm going drinking and I'm going to have Malort tonight. Like, I really don't think there is an antidote for that.
We're barely in the second quarter, EJ.
I know, and they've thrown 2 touchdowns to DJ Moore. I am quite pleased that they are choosing to use the weapon. You know how much of a DJ Moore fan I was when he came out in the draft, and certainly followed his career in Carolina, and then he ends up, being a Bear receiver through a very purposeful turn of events. Let's be honest. The only reason that Poles was willing to trade the overall number 1 pick was because he could get an alpha wide receiver, because he could get a number 1. And if DJ Moore was not part of that trade, it doesn't happen. Like, he will not trade the number 1 pick if he doesn't get DJ Moore. And then they just don't use him for the first 3 weeks. And I'm like, what are you doing? Now they're throwing it up, and he's paying it off because he is that good, and he is that kind of receiver.
I can't feel my teeth.
No comment. I can't comment on side effects. I feel like I'm that voice at the end of the medical like prescription pill commercials that says, "Oh, other side effects may include like bloody gums, eyes recessing in their sockets, like."
I straight up, like, the front of my mouth is just, like, gone. Like, I can't feel anything.
I know I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't love this, but I kind of do.
Oh, the one night that I A, don't start Fields, B, don't start DJ Moore, and C, have to drink.
All of a sudden, the Bears can tackle. Like, even against Denver, there was a lot of Denver offensive plays that turned from decent to really good offensive plays because the Bears just didn't tackle. Now, you get guys out on the edge, and my sort of assumption is, oh, he's going to go through like 3 guys and get 15 more yards. And the first guy is getting him down. I think this is Terrell Smith out on the corner. Like, that's a really good tackle in space. Now we get a, second one. I realize it's only second one, but still, Bears weren't tackling last week. It's a good thing. All right. Brian Robinson will pick that up for him, but I'm all for the Commanders.
Where's my team that I have DJ Moore on? I want to see what he's getting on my bench right now.
Oh, God. Is that healthy behavior?
Fucking shit. 28 points in the second quarter.
Dude, they've thrown 2 touchdowns. What do you want? Like, he's paying it off right now. I mean, did anybody have the Bears up by 17 ever in this entire game?
I'm dying. This is the worst night of my life, EJ. This is the worst night of my life.
I've actually witnessed some of those, so this ain't it. Brett, you should have pre-gamed for the Malort. He kind of did. He got carbs. He prepared, but there's no preparing. If you've ever had it, there is no preparing. There's nothing you could do.
I mean, other than just drink
bleach. That's why. That's why we have a Tevin sighting.
Oh, JT's in here. Hi, JT. Please do a review of this game. Because I don't know if I'm going to remember it, so I'm going to need you to do a video on it.
Oh, welcome to JT O'Sullivan, who we have to say congratulations. He's our buddy. He came on, did some pre-draft content with us, which we'd been scheming together for 5 or 6 months before it happened. He had an incredible month. First things first, if you don't follow the QB School on Twitter, on YouTube, go do that right now. Like, go do that. But I think most of you do because of the month he had. His subscriber increase was like 50%. He had more than 5 million views in the month. Just to put that in perspective, we've been around 3.5, almost 4 years at this point. We have 5 million lifetime views. Like, every view we've ever put up on Bootleg equals like 5.5 million right now. JT got 5 million in a month. JT's the man.
Oh, man. Brutal miss. Barely.
Barely.
Yeah, I know. I will say this. So, and this is not the alcohol talking.
Oh, and he had him and he hit him in the hand.
I truly, in regards to JT O'Sullivan, I truly believe he is the best NFL analyst anywhere. Like, regardless of platform, TV, internet, YouTube, like anywhere. I think he's the best NFL analyst in the game right now. I would put him up against anybody and know I would win because he is the best out of everybody.
Yep. I don't disagree. Anytime JT and I have an interaction, I kind of pinch myself. I'm like, dude, I'm talking to a former NFL quarterback that knows his shit and also has a very similar edge to him that I do. In terms of the way we see players. So huge shout out to JT. If you don't follow him, please go follow him. QB School, at the QB School on Twitter. Fantastic information about how the league really works in terms of how quarterbacks are prepared. Oh, that's got to be it. Oh.
You had him.
Speaking of misses.
The pressure kind of ruined that play, but if the pocket just held up, you would have had it.
Okay, flags on the Bears anyways, which is fine because I really hoped that would be a pick because it looked like it, but instead we get an offside. Anyways, we're not done gushing about JT. We're definitely going to have him back on the channel during this year's draft prep. Kind of scheming an in-person thing. He doesn't know that. So JT, hi. How you doing? We'd love to do that. And yes, I have your mug, and I actually have some other really cool stuff to send you that is in the works that will be done within a month. So I'm holding off on your mug so I can just mail it all as one package. There you go. Teaser.
All right,
We call that
like
foreshadowing. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he didn't catch it.
It's been a lot of near misses in this game.
This is a bad one. TJ Edwards wants this one back.
There's a flag though. I can't tell who it's on.
It's on the Commanders actually, so that would have stood if he'd caught it. Quick story: TJ Edwards was coached on his like Pee-wee team by my editor at Windy City Gridiron, Lester Wilfong.
Is he from the Chicago area? Edwards? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Lester coached him in like between like Pee-wee and JV football.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
did I tell you that Vincent, who you saw, so Vincent's a man who works in the building that I live in. He's a wonderful, wonderful human. Love Vincent, and he's still a youth football coach to this day.
Is he?
He still is. I'm actually going to go out to. So he coaches like these like 5 and 6 year olds, and he's like, normally I like to coach them when they're like fresh into the game because I want to teach them good habits. I want to get them like I want to be their first football coach, right? Teach them good habits.
I love that.
But he's like, this group, I'm going to stick with them because he's like, we got some ridiculous. Like, you remember Darren Sproles when he was like 6? And just he's like,
got some dudes.
They have like 4 of those on this team. So he's like, I'm going to stick with these kids because they're really good.
Right.
But
I'm going to progress until we get them off to school. Good for him.
That's
amazing.
He was Dayon Henley's youth football coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Crenshaw. Yeah.
That's killer. So just a shout out to anybody that works with youth football as a coach, as a quote unquote trainer. They don't really have trainers, but anybody that's providing support that way. I don't care if you're the team mom or dad that's bringing oranges. If you're a ref and there's only 2 of you and it's raining, which was the last JV football I went to, a week ago, like anybody that's out there putting in the effort so that kids can be introduced to this sport and have a good start with it, whether it's a muddy field or, some questionable play, like I don't care. I just want to give a huge shout to all the people that support youth football because it takes a lot. It's a whole lot of effort on top of whatever you're doing for your regular job. And all the stuff we're seeing tonight wouldn't happen without it. Like everybody on that field had one of those coaches.
And they're kind of like the bedrock of football, 100%. Right?
Yeah, they're like the
how many of these guys that are on the field right now started their journey with a youth football coach that believed in them and taught them good habits, and
all of them,
literally all, well, 95%
every single one of them. So don't ever think that is wasted time or wasted effort. It is not.
Cure for $2. We need JT to do an episode fully on non-QB throws. Oh, that would be good. Like the trick plays. Mohamed Sanu, when he would get back there and just uncork some beauty 50 yards down the field. That'd be great.
I love that idea.
That'd be awesome.
We could be the peanut gallery for that one. That'd be amazing.
Just watch him watch Julian Edelman. Great.
And running backs, it's always, it's running backs. Love the running back pitch throws. There's one of those last week. So, super fun. But no, love JT, love his attitude, love his willingness to share all of his knowledge, love his ability to be honest and clap back. That's probably just the Irish in me. But no, really, really deeply appreciate all of it.
Enjoy the beverages. I'm not jealous, I'm sure. I'm sure you're not. JT, please never, ever, ever drink this.
Yeah, don't do that. JT, if you do want to do this, feel free. This is actually quite enjoyable, but the Malort cannot recommend. Not a thing.
All right, kicking off to the Bears again.
Yep.
They have the opportunity to do a very rare thing in Chicago football history.
I know where this is going.
To get a 4-possession lead in the first half. I truly do not remember the last time they did that.
It's been a bit, but can I say how just pleased I am to see Tevin Jenkins back on the field.
Yeah.
Like, this is outside of the left tackle. This is the lineup they wanted to start the year. Whitehair at center, Jenkins at left guard, their high-priced free agent addition at right guard, and their high draft pick at right tackle. Like, this is a very different looking line for the Bears, and this represents a serious kind of return to health outside of the left tackle position. That's going to be a real basis for their offense going forward. And if they can hold that together, we might see some competence from them down the stretch, which would be pretty darn welcome.
What I want to know from a play calling perspective, what has changed between now and 3 weeks ago? And again, I didn't watch last week's game super in detail because, again, we were on the road and I didn't really get a chance to really go through it with a comb at all. And obviously we haven't even finished this one, but to go from, oh my God, what a dart, to go from straight up incompetence in the first 3 weeks to this, I really am eager to go through when I sober up and figure out what has changed. What has changed here?
I watched the Broncos game with that particular bent of, hey, they have done nothing all year. 3 weeks, they have been abysmal. And again, going back to JT, he chronicled that in depth, in detail. He had some of his longest episodes ever, really going through the Bears' first 3 weeks and many of the things that were wrong with that. Even going into protections, I know he says this is the QB school, not the O-line school. But again, he knows a fair bit about that world as well. So he was able to lay out a lot of the things that we were calling out, hey, this is why this isn't working. There's plenty of blame to go around. It's not one person, one thing, one phase. It's everything. So I watched the Denver game that way because they actually put up points. They actually threatened people. They could have won that game. If it wasn't for the costly fumble in the fourth quarter, they probably would have won that game. And what was different? And got to say that Fields looks different than he did in the first 3 weeks in his calmness. He is not bolting as quickly. Takes an extra tick or half tick to get him out of the pocket, which means he sees some of those open guys that were running down the field occasionally in the first 3 weeks. They just look, they're there, but he didn't even see him. So forget hitting the throw. And then there was some real accuracy last week versus Denver, especially early. He hit a couple of crossing routes, more crossing routes in general, but crossing routes in coverage where the accuracy was really impressive that he just didn't have in the first couple of weeks. Oh, nice. Khalil Herbert. Nice.
They basically, the front they were lined up in was basically just, please run it. That that to me just looks like a check at the line of scrimmage where Justin was like, okay, I guess we'll just take it.
And yet they did. Whereas in the first 3 weeks, they would have checked out to a screen and then lost 3 yards. So I appreciate them doing the easy thing. And that was the thing, is they looked so bad for the first 3 weeks because they wouldn't do even what was open to them. Much like you said, hey, this defense is just begging us to run up the middle. Instead, they would check out to something else and then fail, and the drive would stall and problems compound. People get frustrated. Here, they're like, oh, guess what? We can check to a middle run and get 8 yards. Okay, let's do that. A lot of times we say this over and over again. I thought about this pregame. Football is endlessly complicated, but sometimes it can be really simple. Really simple. Go hit that guy in the mouth, and if you do, the guy behind you is going to get 6 yards.
Justin.
Yeah. The thing that I was actually, when you asked what changed, one of the things in my rewatch of the Broncos game this morning, Justin hit the little shit on lock.
Yeah.
And that has not been a thing all year. The easy throws, what JT calls layups, screens, quick little short slants, 3 yard slants, just what we call gimme throws or scheme throws to get a quarterback in rhythm. He has not been any kind of automatic. Great catch by Fields on a bad snap.
And another close to first down run.
Close to first down, but this is something people forget about Whitehair. Whitehair is clearly better at center from a blocking perspective than Lucas Patrick. Lucas Patrick has been a liability since coming over from Green Bay, but people forget that Whitehair, every time he's been at center for the Bears, has had snapping issues throughout his career, which is why he was at guard. Well, there you go. Almost rears its ugly head, but Justin happens to be a good enough athlete that he snags that thing one-handed, and they pretty much pick up a first down on the Khalil Herbert run. Then they pick it up.
Third or fourth tush push we've seen in this game, and I think all of them have succeeded so far.
Well, that's Lucas Patrick does not have push. Whitehair is, a farm boy from Kansas State. He can actually grind it out. And Tevin, of course, you famously did a very profitable video on Tevin Jenkins.
No, that's the point, EJ. It wasn't profitable. It made me $0.
I'm just poking you. I'm not going to sing the Jaws theme because that's not going to be a great thing. But Justin, get your eyes back up. Don't do that. Okay, not great. But I can take not great up 17-3 in the first half. We have not seen that.
It kind of looked like they were going to fake the screen into a draw, and then it looked like Tev got pushed into his lane, and then Fields was like, oh, shit, I can't go forward. Let me see the replay here.
Well, they swapped. Like, Borum comes inside. This is odd.
Yeah, they lost levels. That's why. Borum set too deep.
And then Justin's eyes are clearly down at that point, so it's just a scramble for a couple of yards.
I thought he ran into Tevin because he ran into somebody who was immediately to his left, but it was like, no, that was Borum.
Okay, this next play, when people say, earlier somebody said, if EJ is a Komet detractor, what does that make JT? I don't know if JT was in here at that point, but that's not the point. It's an opportunity cost thing, and a lot of times, Justin's very comfortable with Cole Komet, and that's typically a very good thing, but he will go to him in sort of high leverage situations where he doesn't have a high chance of success. And it's almost like, well, he's open, so I'll throw it to him. It's like, yeah, but he's 3 yards short of the sticks, or he's 5 yards short of the stick. Like, he's probably not dynamic enough to get that. And then we end up with a long 3rd and 4, which is almost 3rd and 5 at this point.
So it looks like
please,
man coverage here.
Come on. Oh, and he comes up limping. Even worse. Dude, that's a 3rd one to Mooney that's either hit him in the hands or just gone a little
It was a good call from Getsy, though, for a slot fade against man. Like, they had it. They had it.
And they run basically a scissors concept. And, hey, all credit. Defenders get paid too. It's a good rep by St. Juice to break that up. He's got a huge height advantage over Mooney. And I'm just like, man,
Justin shouldn't be patting his chest. That was a perfectly catchable ball. Defender just made a play.
It's difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy. It's not easy, but you do get paid for it. It did hit you where you could catch it. Like, I want to see that completed.
I love if you get a clear man coverage look. And remember, not only was it a man coverage look, but it was a man coverage look with the safety not over the field side, right? He was sitting on the hash. Like, that is as one-on-one as it possibly gets. And if you're running a slot fade.
And he was right to throw it.
He was right to throw it. But if you're getting a slot fade from number 3, right, and Mooney was number 3 here, he'd commit to the left of him, and then I think he had more all the way outside. If you're running a slot fade to number 3, that means that you have, as much space as you could possibly have for that fade to land outside. That's a good decision. Now, could he have thrown it a little bit higher? Maybe, but I don't think he wanted to overthrow it, and he's already overthrown Mooney twice. If it's a contested catch situation like that where you have an arm going through your arms and you kind of got to catch it low, it's a tough catch. I get it. But you got to make that catch.
Chad is not your favorite right now.
I know. I'm getting to it. God.
Nag.
Can't let me talk about slot fades for 30 seconds. Fucking
nope.
I see what they're here for.
Nope. Yep. You made it the title of the stream, buddy. Like, this one's on you.
It's my own fault.
It is fully your own fault.
I came into this and I was like, oh, if I do it every time they're going to score, I might have to take like 2 shots all night. Yeah, no. Fucking four in the first half. God. All right. Thank you, Bears. Assholes.
You're so... It tastes like that, at least.
Mmm. I've never drank something that made me want to punch a wall.
Really? I've had that experience. So, in fact,
I will say, the more I drink it, the less I taste it, which is probably a bad thing. But I'll take the relief. I'll take the relief. I'm not having like convulsions as a reaction. You know,
reacting less, which I'm pleased for. I do not like to watch the people I love suffer, but you know, I will say that all the like random cinematic B-roll stuff of Washington D.C. is making me incredibly nostalgic, and I want to go back right now.
Like, yeah, you lived there for a while growing up, didn't you?
I did. I lived there for a year growing up, and I have a bunch of friends there, and I would, I would love to go back, and it's a special place. Like it's a really fun place. And I have not taken my kids there, so kind of thinking I might have to sneak a trip into DC here.
Yeah, I'm due to go to Bethesda because we have some of our good friends that just had their first baby, and they live out in Bethesda.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
let's go.
So we got to go see the kid.
Schofield is there, correct?
Mark Schofield?
Yeah, he's in Maryland, isn't he?
He's a Patriots fan.
Well, no. He is indeed a Patriots fan, but I thought he was in Virginia.
I mean, maybe.
Virginia or Maryland? I think it's Maryland.
It's same state, really, honestly.
You know, in terms of driving distances for you and I, yes, it's the same thing.
I could get across L.A. in more time than it takes to go from like one end of Baltimore or one end of Maryland to the other.
Let's go. Are you drinking for these two?
God, no, EJ.
Okay.
Oh wait, was that a turnover?
Right. Yes,
fuck it. I'll do a half shot. Fuck it.
Half. Okay, this is a bad decision by Howell. Late in the down, late in the half. Well, horrible decision. Great undercut. This is Stroman. Jr. He has been playing inspired football. He's been playing very, very hard. That is a great read and a textbook pick on an undercut. Like, Howell only hangs up Samuel by a half a step, and Stroman jumps that thing. We're seeing some growth out of the Bears, and as you know, I'm somebody that likes to watch roster development. I'm certainly somebody that likes to watch player development. Seeing that across the Bears roster tonight is, I'm digging it. Oh, there we go, Chase Young.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad after the fifth one, when all my taste buds have been burned out.
You know, I have a rendezvous with death.
You have a rendezvous with something, but it ain't that. Not tonight. You might wish it was, but that's a different thing entirely. Nah, that's Chase Young getting a big paw up there. Good for him. Philly fan here, the frequent raging fan debate about NFC E wide receivers. Curious how y'all would rank them. Lamb, Terry, AJ, Smitty. Sorry. Chat just yanked for me here real quick. Let me go back. Curious how you'd rank them all. This is NFC East wide receivers. Lamb, Terry, AJ, Smitty. Tough because they're all top 10.
I would go AJ. If I was going to build if I had a draft pick. Wow. I'll go AJ.
Yeah, this is getting fun.
I'll go AJ, CD, Terry, Devonta.
Yeah, I agree with M16A1 or AA1. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate that. it is difficult because you are talking about, two. I don't know where Terry ranks right now, but I did look up both Smitty and AJ. They are both within the top 16 in the NFL right now for yardage. And I imagine that Terry is. I'm not sure that Lamb is, but that's more a situation rather than talent. For me, that's tough. I think I would put AJ first because of his big play potential. I would probably go Terry second, Lamb, and then Smitty. But Lamb and Smitty for me are really, really close. Terry, this is kind of, I think of them like on a neutral field with the best quarterback you can think of. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I would probably go, AJ, Terry, Lamb, and Smitty. But you're right. It's not like there's a huge drop in between any 4 of them. They're all very, very good. They could all be number ones in their own right on their own team. And I feel terrible about putting Devonta Smith fourth because it seems like any list he's fourth on, it's too low. You're just underrating him. But against those 3 other guys, it's tough. It's a tough call. You could ask me tomorrow, I'd have a different opinion.
I just realized I put my camera very askew.
Askew?
Very askew.
Very askew.
I look like I'm in Inception.
That would bother.
Roshan's out with a concussion. Shit.
Well, that is not good for the slip or Roshan.
Yeah. Well, we had him at 22.5. He'd finished at 19. Hope he heals up. Hope he feels better.
Yeah. This is a very tough game physically. We saw guys on Sunday get hurt. We saw Gonza get hurt. We saw Judon get hurt. Like, it is a tough game. And I was going through practice squads a couple of weeks ago, talking about who I might pick up for the interior offensive line of the Bears. And it reminded me because right underneath practice squads listed on the site I was looking at are all the inactives based on folks that have been put on IR. And I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's on IR and that guy's on IR. And then last week I was looking up Kenny Yeboah and he's on IR. And I was like, oh man, holy cow, Khalil Herbert, let's go.
He's having himself a hell of a night, man.
He is
just dragging dudes. Look at him go. Fuck.
Yeah, he is taking the momentum from the Broncos game and really pushing it. But again, watch the interior for the Bears line. Look at the hole. Like, that's a good hole. He doesn't even get touched till 5 yards. I would give him 6 or 7, and he ends up with like twice that because he's just running hard. But nobody touches him until, the guy comes off Whitehair's block at like 6 or 7 yards.
Well, if you're not covering up the center at all and you're just letting him get to the second level for free, like what does Washington expect to happen here?
Right.
They're just giving it to him over and over again.
This is not going to be as favorable, but not bad. No, I really appreciate Khalil Herbert as a player. We both did. His effort has always been there. The question coming into this year was, would he be the number one? Based on blocking, pass blocking, and that's always a question is trying not to get your quarterback killed. You got to be able to stick your face up in there against much bigger edge rushers and say, you don't get to go to my quarterback. He's been okay. He actually had some breakdowns in that last week, but in terms of his effort with the football in his hands, running or passing, he's been really, really good. Oh, Justin gonna beat him to the corner. All right, I'm about that. What I am also about with Justin running the ball this year is guys not headhunting him on the ground.
He got close there. The knee came real close.
Like, last year, it wasn't close. People were, shoving the crown of their helmet into his jaw left and right, and he would never get the call. This year, that seems to have changed, and it's the trend I am most happy to see gone in the NFL, and I'm not even kidding. Justin took it a truly unfair beating. Okay. You're hating your life right now, man.
I had the opportunity to not do this,
dude,
and I did it. I could have just could have just done a shot at the start of every half. Just could have done one celebratory shot.
One to taste it. Yep, one to taste it.
But no, my dumbass was like, "Oh, every time they score."
Well, guess
idiot.
what? My dumbass said that Cole Kmet was going to see some regression and that the Commanders have been really good against tight ends, and then they run a crossing route and look like they'd never covered one. So, I'd say your stomach feels worse, but my pride hurts.
If you ever denied the existence of the Coleman curse, please take notice that the Chicago Bears have scored 27 points in one half. The curse is fucking real, and this time it's on me.
Yeah, you have found yourself you have found yourself in the clutches of the Coleman curse, and that's tough because it's your very own. Alexa, play shots.
Alexa, play Hello Darkness, my old friend.
Yes. Alexa, play. So what's the detoxification process for Malort?
Dude, I don't think there is one. I think I'm just going to die tonight, but it's okay.
You best not. That would be the wrong kind of tragedy, for sure. None of us want to see that.
You know what's really bad?
Many things, but you're going to share with me something else?
I barely taste it now.
Oh,
barely.
We have reached
barely.
That point.
No,
and it's only the first half. Like
this is at this point where it's like, oh, where you accidentally swallow like a little bit of the mouthwash, and it's like not like when you're like, oh, I get the flavor, but it's not like it doesn't kill you. Like that's it. It's nothing. It's just a little baby.
Oh, man. I'm just wondering if OBS will autopilot for the entire second half after you pass out in your chair.
I fully expect to not make it to my bed 30 feet away tonight.
Oh, yeah. No, you're sleeping in the chair.
There's no water in this. What am I doing?
Brett is God's toughest soldier.
God hates me, okay? I am not his soldier. I am his enemy.
EJ lucked out so hard. Yes, EJ did luck out so hard, and he knew it at the time. Sometimes, no problem. I luck out, and I don't realize that I've lucked out. This time, like as soon as it happened, yes, I knew that I had dodged a very large bullet.
How many shots is that so far?
Some of them are halves. I haven't really been keeping track. It's at least 3 fulls, which is too many. Too many. 3 too many.
I think it's
let's be
honest. 4.5.
Oh,
right?
God.
4.5.
EJ's got to catch up. EJ's going to get some ice at halftime, and yes, I will do another shot of Egan's for sure because yeah.
Oh, you mean your nice sherried cask finished Irish whiskey?
I
fucking
do.
Princess.
This is my revenge for all the, hey, look, the distillery sent me 3 bottles. What, they didn't send you anything? I'm like, hey, our patron sent you some Malort. It's like a Trojan horse got into your building, and now you're like, oh, they gave us a gift.
I'm never forgiving Fitzy. I'm never forgiving Fitzy ever. This is terrible.
Fitzy's a damn hero. Let's just be honest. In general, not necessarily for this particular stunt. Fitzy also, for those of you that follow the channel, was the patron that invited me to go watch Bears Broncos because he'd bought tickets in the off season. I couldn't go because we were in Texas, but no, Fitzy's a damn hero. Really appreciate his support of not only Bootleg, which has been exemplary, but also Bears Over Beers, my other podcast. He supported both myself and my partner JB there. Fitzy loves himself some football. He is a fun-loving Australian, which means he is into hijinks with alcohol. So have at it, Mr. Coleman.
What's something I can DoorDash at halftime to soak this up?
Mashed potatoes.
Rice. Oh, can I just DoorDash just steamed rice?
Yeah, you can, for sure. I mean, you have like 10 sushi places within like 5 blocks. Like you could get some really good rice.
So, side note, as we're 12 seconds left in the half, people don't realize about LA. LA is like, oh yeah, you go there for the Mexican food. No, you don't go to LA for the Mexican food. I mean, you do go to LA for the Mexican food, but you don't. Like, that's not the main thing.
Just not birria tacos from that truck right near your house, because wow.
Yeah, you want to talk about me getting destroyed? You got fucking destroyed by those. Good lord,
dude. Those things hit bottom
hurt
like
you.
cement. Like, it was rugged. But no, the food scene in LA highly underrated.
But it's not like the Mexican's great, but that's not the only thing. So a few blocks that way is the Japanese consulate. And then right behind that is Little Tokyo. And so in LA, there is a shit ton of amazing Japanese food of all types. So if you want sushi and you're not in Japan, you come to LA. If you want ramen, either LA or New York. If you want the meanest bowl of fried rice you've had in your life, you come to LA.
Which you really need tonight. Let's be honest.
Probably, yeah.
Like fun story, story from the podcast that Bootleg recorded in my backyard last year, which was I think the first time that my backyard debuted on the podcast. It was right before we went to the Russ return game, which was week 1, Broncos at Seahawks, which was the second time that Brett had been in Lumen Field. But Brett was on his crazy September tour last year, flew up to my house after being like 3 other places, hadn't slept a lot, hadn't eaten a lot. I pulled out a very good bottle of Kaio Sherry, I believe.
Yeah.
And you were pouring yourself refreshers in the middle of recording that podcast, which I was not necessarily aware of. And on the train up to the Seahawks game, one Mr. Coleman was looped. Like, let's just call it what it was. He was like, hey,
yeah,
Jack,
that was a severe miscalculation.
I need some food. I was pouring myself refills. I was like, I will take you to Wajimaya. We will go to the food court. I got him a big old plate of pork fried rice. Pretty much probably saved his life. So if you like Coleman's content, yes, I'm responsible. And then we went to the game and survived nicely, based purely or powered purely off pork fried rice, which was pretty damn dope.
Oh God, that fried rice was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Wajimaya does not screw around if you've been to Seattle. So good stuff there. You're going to need some tonight. You're going to need a healthy dose of fried rice.
Somebody said spicy Szechuan noodles, and
sure.
Now I can't think of anything else because that just sounds
you should absolutely. All right, you going to be able to hold it down? Typically, I leave at halftime. I get a bite to eat. I refresh my drinks. Are you going to be able to make sure the lid doesn't blow off this place? That is not reassuring, but I am hungry, so I'm going to go get a slice of reheated pizza, some ice, take another shot of Irish to try and catch up. Although I do have to work after this stream as well, because I'm going to be doing a wrap-up with our good friend Bill Zimmerman over on WCG, Windy City Gridiron, as a reaction to this game. Should be more fun, actually, than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, fun fact, I'm not yet done when this stream's over, so I'm going to grab some food, refill the ice, grab a new beer because the Sea Pine's out as well. So load up for the second half and hope the Bears can hold on.
I was supposed to record a short for the NFL's YouTube channel after this, so we'll see how that goes.
I want that deeply. I want that.
If you want the NFL to just post me slurring his way through a Baker Mayfield short. Tonight's the night for that.
I'm all about it. All right. I'm going to go grab my supplies, and we'll be back as soon as I can.
Chat, please inundate me with your questions. I know we've missed a bunch of super chats, and I apologize for that. If there's any missed super chats that I have not got to yet, please let me know what those are, and I can get to those now. At least attempt to get to those now. We'll see. Brett looks hammered. First of all, hammered is not the correct term. I feel wonderful right now. We'll see if they score a couple more touchdowns how I feel. But right now, I'm kind of in that good zone where, I don't feel anything, honestly. Like, I have no pain receptors in my body. My mouth, gone. Can't feel that. Apparently don't have any taste either because I can't even taste the Malort anymore. So I'm kind of in the sweet spot, and I'm just going to keep pounding water so I don't die while I figure out what sort of carb that I can DoorDash here. Do the short hammered. I don't think I have a choice but to do it hammered at this point. I don't think this is going away. Oh God, excuse me. It's that kind of night, guys. I'm starting to lose faith in this whole Eric Bieniemy experiment, and Jack Del Rio has overstayed his welcome. I wouldn't lose faith in Eric Bieniemy. I definitely lose faith in the offensive line. A lot of their problems this year have gone back to they cannot pass protect. And the fact that they can't pass protect against the Bears of all teams really shows you how bad their pass protection is. I'm not kidding. It's one of the 5 worst in the NFL, if not 3 or 4 worst, right? Like, they're down there with Carolina. They're down there with the Giants. Like, they are bad at protecting the quarterback. So I wouldn't necessarily put it all on Bieniemy. If anything, they just need to get A, better talent up front, and B, potentially just look at some of their schemes in terms of how they're protecting, which, that is one thing that Bieniemy can affect, obviously. But, if they're running 6-man protections and they still can't block against 4, that's a talent issue more than anything. So that's one thing they got to address. As for Jack Del Rio, yeah, that's starting to overstay his welcome. The fact that he keeps insisting on running this much man coverage and insisting on running this much quarters, despite not having corners that can hold up, is that's wholly on Jack Del Rio, because he doesn't have to do that. He's choosing to do that, and he's getting lit up because of that. So, yeah, that's a Jack Del Rio issue. Miss Super Chat, do you drink Fernet? Like straight? Like, I've had it over ice, and I've enjoyed Fernet over ice. Like, I don't mind aperitifs and liqueurs and really anything on the bitter herbal side. I don't mind stuff like that. Malort's a whole different animal, but like Fernet Branca, I mostly just use it in cocktails. But I do like Fernet Branca. Yeah, it's good. There are dozens of Miss Super Chats, Brett. Oh, no, that's not good. I'm sorry, guys. Where is EJ's camera? We want to see Snyder. Where's the eye candy? He's getting pizza because he gets to eat in the middle of this, and yet me, doing all these shots in Malort, apparently, will not be eating in the middle of this. So, we see who the real diva is on this show. Cigarettes. What's cigarettes? Oh God, Grassi Posse's here. Welcome to the Grassi Posse. You are just in time to watch me make medically irresponsible decisions on live stream. But I welcome you and your Packers ilk to this wonderful Bears game. You can come in peace tonight. I will allow you here. In honor of Dick Butkus, I will allow you here. But thank you to the Grassi Posse for coming by. Best fan base in all of NFL YouTube, easily. Oh God, Perna's here too. Well, Perna, I think Perna's going to have a rough Thursday next week, so I'll make sure to return the favor next week for him, because they play against the Chiefs, and that one's probably not going to go super well. Speaking of, is Perna... Hold on. Is the actual Brandon Perna here? Because I meant to ask him. I'm coming out to Colorado the first week of December, and I'm going to be in his neck of the woods, not too far outside of his neck of the woods. I think I'm going to be like an hour away from him. So, Perna, if you're here, please come drink with me in Colorado. I would appreciate seeing you. I miss your face. But I'm only going to be like an hour up the road from you, I think, based on where I think you live. He's in the bathroom. Oh, man. Well, still, welcome to all the Perna fans. Welcome to all the Grassi Posse. We love you. dearly. I have my amazing private label Elijah Craig 12-year 134 proof, Jesus Christ, 134 proof whiskey for tonight. Yeah, so you only need like one glass and then you're good to go. Anything more than one and you'll look and sound a lot like me right now. 134, my God. That's not playing around. Yeah, there's barrel proof and then there's that. But will Perna do a Malort too? I should make him. I should bring this out to Colorado and make him do a Malort shot on camera so he can experience my pain. And actually, speaking of the Broncos, the week I get back from Colorado, I'm going to be going to the Broncos-Chargers game in LA. So if any of you guys are going to that game too, please let me know. But part of the reason I'm out in Colorado, which I'm going to be up in the mountains. I'm going to be up in a ski town in the first week of December. But I'm going to record a Broncos episode from there. I'm not sure what aspect of the Broncos I will be covering at that point, but I will be doing something Broncos related in the lead up to that Broncos-Chargers game in LA the following weekend. So if you're going to be there at SoFi, please let me know, and we'll meet up. We'll say hi. Also, I will be at SoFi for several other games this year because it's like 20 minutes that way. Starting with Chargers-Cowboys, the Monday night game, week 6. I'll be there. I will be at Rams-Steelers, October 22nd. And I will be at Saints-Rams, December 21st, I think it was. Like the week before Christmas. And then I also might be at USC-Washington, too. So a lot of good games in LA this year I'm going to be at. So if you guys are going to be there, please let me know. We'll meet up. We'll say hi. Are we going to get a Ravens video this season? I would like to do one on Lamar at some point. Depends on timing and schedules and everything like that. But I would like to do one on Lamar. He's played really well so far this year. More accurately, it'll be on the Todd Monken offense and like what's different about the Monken offense versus the Roman offense, which is a lot. But again, it'll probably be in the second half of the year, I would say. Taylor Schneider Music for $20. Thank you, Taylor. Eagles fan here. This might be a negative of this. Can I read? Okay. Eagles fan here. This might be negative of me. Good. Sound it out, Brett. But I'm worried that we... Wow. Why can't I read it? I'm worried that we may be similar to last year's Vikings. We're 4-0, but haven't had a complete game. Should I be nervous or should I feel good that the team finds ways to win? You are not the Vikings. You are not the Vikings because the way that the Eagles have pulled out tough victories is through sheer force of will and overwhelming talent, right? And I think it's different than the Vikings where they would pull out victories with like random fluky shit like Josh Allen fumbling on his own goal line, right? Like stuff that just shouldn't happen. Whereas the Eagles are pulling out victories by just having the best defensive line on planet Earth and rushing the shit out of Mac Jones or, absolutely taking over games in the fourth quarter or, A.J. Brown being superhuman. So like, yeah, they're having one possession games, but they're winning one possession games through overwhelming talent, not through fluky circumstances that are highly circumstantial, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be worried about it, is what I'm trying to say. Imagine paying $20 for Cope. That's not Cope. That's an Eagles fan looking for reassurance that his team is good, and by God, they are good. Duck on Quack 2498. I think I got that correct. For $10. Thank you, Duck. Thoughts on Devin Witherspoon? I think he's basically Rondé Barber 2.0. And I said coming out that I thought Witherspoon could be a good outside corner, but an absolutely elite safety. He's ended up being a nickel, which a nickel in terms of skill set is very similar to a safety. It's a lot of two-way goes, a lot of playing in space. You have to be a good blitzer. You have to be a good run defender. You don't really get the sideline to help you out. And so that's why a lot of safeties are nickels and a lot of nickels are safeties. And he played an absolute whale of a game at nickel, which I think translates to the skill set that I thought he had coming out of Illinois, of somebody who's super physical, great space player, can be a blitzer, can play the run, just a phenomenal tackler. Like, I would just leave him there and just let him be Rondé Barber 2.0, because that's what Rondé was, right? Rondé was arguably the best nickel ever, and I think Witherspoon's in that mold. Welcome back, EJ.
I feel very welcome. I love Matthew Wright. Dad's back. Scatter.
Ooh, nice run from Robinson there.
Yeah, Robinson has been very solid for this football team. And a lot of times what we want out of offense in the NFL, doesn't matter who it's from, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, we want flashy. We want big, poppy runs. And Robinson has been kind of the grinder on this Washington team that has gained yards that they need, picked up receptions, been blocking, all the things that we expected him to do coming out of college. And he's been very, very solid for this team. Has not been flashy, but very, very solid. Oh, Josta 07 for looks like Australian $5. Brett, how much butt could a Butkus cuss if a Butkus could cut butts? I love it. I love it. Thank you for the sport. Oh, sorry. Second half libations, more of the Egan's Irish single malt, and then I picked up this Sinistor Black from 10 Barrel Brewing, a black ale, which I am. I like 10 Barrel. They have a lot of fun with their beer, and love black ales. Not too many people make black ales anymore, but whenever I find one, I pick it up because one of my favorite styles.
How does that compare to like a stout?
It doesn't have the back end. It's not as thick. It's not as malty. It doesn't have as much sugar in it, but the front end is very similar. So,
all right, Washington driving
that's
here.
a good one. Ooh, little bit smoky. Just a hair on, like, yeah, you're thinking, oh, winter beer, and then it evens out, which is one of my favorite things.
I don't think we have any yards for Dotson yet, which is just crushing me once again. I don't think we have anything for Terry yet either.
Dodson was my guy. I told you pregame was my high variance guy. Like, yeah, he can get it in one shot, but is he gonna? The answer is me. Maybe. I love that we get a Gibson. I love that we get a Gibson sighting here because, like, Gibson's super talented player. I'm glad that even though Brian Robinson has taken sort of the lead in carries and touches, that they haven't forgot about Gibson, because, man, he's got some juice. He's a fun player.
Did EJ smoke a pack of cigarettes or something up with his mic? His mic sounds fine to me.
No, I was a little bit gravelly. I would. Foul flag. Yeah, he's gonna get flag on that. Stevenson, Tyreek Stevenson is good, but physical and handsy, and we knew that one of his adjustments coming into the league was he was going to have to back off and figure out what the refs are going to call. He has not found that balance yet. He is still going to light into guys and still going to get flagged, and he drew one right there in the end zone. So
you never find the line until you get to it.
Yeah, no, he crosses it regularly. He hasn't backed off enough to figure out where it doesn't get flagged.
Well, because they don't call that in college, right? So he's used to playing that way. Like, because they call this a lot differently in college. You're basically just allowed to punch receivers in the face, and he's still figuring it out. Like, turning your head's not enough, right? Like,
well, honestly, if he hadn't hit him the second time, the initial punch was good and basically almost drove the receiver out of bounds. But then he pushed him again when he was in the end zone to really sort of finish the deal. If he hadn't pushed him again, I'd be interested to see if they'd thrown that flag. How got it?
Luckily, I don't have to drink for this one, so I'll take it.
You do not. You do not. That is a shot to Logan Thomas. Doesn't actually look all that much different than Justin Fields' touchdown to Cole Kmet last week against the Broncos. Rolls right. Defense commits to him. Finds a tight end hanging out. There was actually coverage on Logan Thomas on this one, unlike the Cole Kmet catch. But this is sort of a red zone staple. Move the pocket. Got a mobile quarterback. He's got 2 layers here. He can go for the short one at the goal line, or he can go deeper. He's got a height mismatch deeper to Logan Thomas. He chooses that. Thomas pays it off for him. EB, no stranger to working with tall, good red zone targets who are tight ends. So knows how to create touchdowns. That's important. Commanders get, a start towards the positive here at the beginning of the second half, and Howell gets a 2-point conversion as well.
Yeah,
okay.
they needed to, because they had to make it a 16-point game. They couldn't let it keep being 3 possessions.
It was by no means a sure thing, though. And again, Howell, his senior year, showed us that he had a really good ground game, and this counts as that, right? This is a tough run near the goal line. He makes it happen. Ron Rivera, former Bear himself, is pleased about that effort.
At this point, should the Bengals just start experimenting and see what sticks, because this ain't it? I don't think there's any experiments they can run when your quarterback can't move. And there's an interesting stat that Josh Norris had where I think he said 80% of all the passes that Burrow's thrown have been 10 yards or less. Like, he just doesn't have the ability to push off and drive the ball down the field. So there's not really any experiment you can do other than sit him, play with a backup. And there was an interesting question that somebody posed. It's like, well, what if they just sat him for the first month and they still ended up 1-3? Like, they'd be in a better spot, right? Because he would have had time to heal.
Agreed.
They would have been the same record anyway. And then you got a healthy Burrow coming in. Like,
and
they should have just sat him.
Thing is, they should sit him now. Like,
yeah.
And it's not about who's coming up or how important the games are in the schedule or anything else. It's about your franchise quarterback, who you have invested way more in than just this season. This is not a 1-year deal. We'll try and win it all, and then we'll have to figure out how to pay for it. No, they're expecting that Burrow is going to be the guy going forward for a while. It ain't worth the 2 weeks where he clearly can't play like the way he needs to win football games. You just sit him down. Like, he's not healthy. You sit him. And he's super driven. This isn't a question of he got paid and now he's not interested in football or anything. Like, he's just not healthy, and he needs to be healthy. And until he gets healthy, sit him down and then bring him back.
Miss $5 super chat. Sorry about that, Braden. Odds of Fields or Murray to the Falcons. Also, fun fact, my brother played backup for Justin in high school. Ooh.
No kidding.
Wow.
Georgia.
Down in Georgia. Oh, makes sense. Falcons fan. Justin's from Georgia. I get it.
You bet.
So let's just say the Bears get the first overall pick, right? They're going to take Caleb. We know they're going to take Caleb.
Yep.
Fields has got to go somewhere. Falcons would make sense because I think Fields is better than Ritter. Like, it would make sense.
Well, if he continues to show out as he has over the past couple of games, yeah, the Falcons would absolutely take him over Ritter, because Ritter is one of the under talked about storylines nobody likes to say when they miss, but there are a lot of heavy Ritter supporters who really believed he was going to be just fine, and he has been anything but just fine.
It's been a disaster.
They have been avoiding him largely in that offense, and that is the ultimate sign that your coach, your team, your teammates sort of don't buy into whatever you're selling at quarterback. And Ritter has been sort of an afterthought. He's been something that they've had to game plan around rather than through. And that means, they're in the market for a quarterback. Be a great storyline, like Justin going home to Georgia, all those weapons. It'd be a super fun team. Like, think about everybody that they've assembled on offense. That'd be
awesome.
Cool.
Can you imagine that run game?
I'm sort of just imagining it right now, going, oh yeah, I kind of want that to happen. Not because I want Justin to leave Chicago, but if he had to go somewhere, that would be one of the more fun destinations. So also, we just saw it on the run right there with Justin Fields. I don't feel like Justin has the same juice on runs right now as he did last year. I'm not sure why that is, but last year when he took off, it was electric. Like he ran by very fast defenders and just broke ankles, broke angles, did the whole bit. This year, it kind of just seems like I don't want to say he's jogging. It almost feels like there's something going on with his lower body where he just doesn't have that insane burst that he had last year. It looks much more regular.
Well, I know that he was talking about.
Well, see, he heard me. He freaking heard me.
Yeah, about that burst, huh?
He had to. He's like, "Oh yeah, EJ, I don't have the burst. Watch." Yeah, I do.
But I know he mentioned about changing his changing
There's the Malort.
his training regimen to quote unquote have more body armor. So I'm sure that
training regimen. Why did you put yourself through that particular gauntlet after 4 shots of Malort?
If they get another touchdown here, I'm just gonna die.
Slowly, but yes. Oh, tipped. Now, this is something that's been really interesting over the last couple of weeks. He did it in the Denver game too. Justin's been dropping his arm angle. Like even on throws where he doesn't need to. It's really cool when quarterbacks can change up their arm angle to fit the situation, to fit a ball into space, to get around a defender. That's awesome. But even on balls that you would consider quote unquote normal throws, clean pockets, etc., Justin's been doing this little drop sidearm, almost looks like he's whipping darts at a bar over the past couple of weeks, and it's resulted in more than a couple of plays like that. I can think of 3 or 4 over the past 2 weeks that have been deflected that wouldn't have been otherwise. And again, just clean throws where he didn't have anybody on him, and he just kind of went and just whipped it sidearm. Again, not going to argue with the results. Offensively, he's been way better over the past 2 weeks than he has over the whole season. So, hey, man, if you need to drop your arm angle to make it happen, go ahead, because it's been pretty good, but you're going to have to live with a few of those per game where they get batted at the line of scrimmage.
Storm with a missed super chat. Who to start at flex? Brees, Tank, I'm assuming Christian Watson, Zay, or Wilson. I would say
Brees.
Hold
on. Did you get it?
It's just against Broncos. Yeah, I do Brees.
Oh, I didn't get it. No, Brees is averaging like 9.3 per carry. Like Brees Hall's freaking Brees Hall. He's back and he looks really good. And
did he catch that? No, he didn't.
He did not. They eventually said he didn't, which I get. But again, watch the arm angle when Justin gets out to the side. Watch how he throws this. So he escapes. Great escapability. Watch this. He just kind of flips it. He just kind of, and that's more like, hey, I had a defender in front of me. I had to whip it. I get it. Great effort by Herbert to try. Oh, too much effort by Herbert. Looks like he bent his knee back underneath him. I don't like that.
Yeah,
that means
the toe got caught. Oh, God.
Oh, and wait. They're like Roshan's out with a concussion.
His toe got caught at a really weird angle.
Yeah, it's not a friendly.
Do they have 3 running backs active? Hold on.
Yeah, the Seahawks legend.
Seahawks legend,
Travis Homer.
Is he all they have?
Well, I don't know if they have Foreman active as well, but they have Devonta Foreman as well, or Deonta Foreman, not Devonta.
Yeah, I don't know that Foreman's active.
Right. I would imagine that if you were the Bears, you would be picking one of your 4 running backs to not be active because, again,
well, and Homer's a good pass protector, so and special teamer, so he's always going to be active.
Yeah, and
Foreman is inactive.
Yeah, so it's
Travis
we're
Homer
down
show.
to Travis Homer and Kari Blasingame. Like, if you're going to run the ball for the rest of the night, that's who you're looking at. Or you're going to run jet sweeps, which I would be all for. If they're going to bring in Scott for a couple of jet sweeps, I think that'd be fun. Velas, they ran Velas on a jet sweep last week and it worked. Like,
I feel like if you're down to Velas Jones as your running back, you got problems.
No, I don't mind Travis Homer. I know a lot of people might think, oh, third string running back. And, again, yeah, would I rather have Roshan and Khalil Herbert? Sure. But if you are down to your third string running back and it's Travis Homer, feel pretty good about that. He's going to protect the heck out of Justin. He's decent in the passing game, not explosive, but decent. And he's a good little runner between the tackles. I got no issues with that as a third string running back. I was very glad that they signed him. Liked his work with Seahawks. So
yeah, he's one of the best pass protectors in the game. So, there's that.
A lot of teams would be worse off than the Bears if they were down to their third string running back. Some would be better off. There's a few, but not too many.
FedEx Field strikes again. Yes, this surface does have a reputation for grabbing cleats, and I worry that that's exactly what happened to Khalil Herbert here, where he tried to bend back and his cleat grabbed and wouldn't move, and all of a sudden his entire body weight then fell on his knee at a bad angle.
Well, he's walking on it. He's limping. That's good news. He is headed to the tent, which we expected, but he is walking on it. That's a positive if there is one to take away from that.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for at this point.
Yeah.
It's just, hopefully it's not too bad.
All right, little special teams action. Commanders, decent return. Decent coverage. Nothing wrong with that play.
On block on the gunner, too. Did you see that? Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. That's how you get reps on the primary units. Go out there and give your all on special teams and be effective, regardless of what your role is.
Joe, I saw you in chat earlier say that we missed your super chat. If you could please be so kind just to put it back in there, I'd appreciate that, because I did not see what it was. Joe Winograd.
High ankle sprain. Yeah, it could be a high ankle sprain. We're not going to speculate at this point, but definitely a lower body injury based on the fact that he folded himself in half trying to catch that pass. Yeah, not the best, but Bears are going to make the Commanders go 70 yards here. They've been playing decently. They have a reasonable lead, but plenty of time left for the Commanders here. Just under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lots of football to be played. If they get on a hot streak, they can put this together.
Brett, have you seen tape on Tree? I asked why he struggled so far. When you say Tree, who do you mean by Tree? In my head, all I think is urinating trees. So, but I'm also I'm still very buzzed.
I've seen tape on him. He struggles because he's not a very good baseball player. No, just a shout out to Tree. He was down at 5 points. YouTube All-Star games against the Portland Pickles. Bears are calling turnover here. Is that Terrell Smith? He's made a bunch of plays tonight.
That ball was out. But the question was his right leg out of bounds when he touched it? We'll see.
I'm with you, but not a fun position for the Commanders to have a maybe. Logan Thomas looks like he knows he let it go.
I'm going to get the half shot ready just because I know how this is going to
go. Okay, they don't blow the whistle. That ball is loose before he hits the ground, before his butt.
It was 100% out. The question is, was his leg out when he touched it?
No, I don't think so.
Who forced that? Smith?
I'm not sure if Smith recovered it. I'm not sure if he forced it too.
He might have got that. I think he also recovered it too.
Yeah. Terrell Smith is a dog. We saw him, and I was not terribly impressed with him as a corner, but he's come on in the last 3 weeks. Always was going to be physical, tall, fast, big athlete. I didn't necessarily like his ability to turn. Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Half shot it is. Fuck.
Half shot for a turnover? Are you doing that?
I did it for the first one.
You're Texas now. You're just shooting the cannon for everything. All right. Here's a protection breakdown from the Bears. Whitehair, that's actually not Whitehair's guy.
I know that I sobered up a little bit because I started tasting it again.
I'm deeply sorry about that.
No, you're not. Don't fucking lie to me.
No, I am. Trust me, I've tasted that stuff, and if there is a reprieve from tasting it, I'm wishing that for people. People, of course, being you at this particular moment. Malort for turnovers at Brett. Yeah, Fitzy, you did this. It's your fault. I appreciate the $4.99.
This is your work, dude.
I also appreciate the Malort, but if he's going to choose turnovers,
I've done a good amount of the bottle already.
So. You're out of the neck pour at this point, and that's more than I would do. Yeah, that I literally would take the neck pour of a Malort and it would sit on my shelf for the next 10 years right there. Like it would.
Should do a diver down with one of these.
Oh God. Oh, don't. That sounds.
I do have a Corona left over. Or no, Pacifico. The other Mexican lager.
The other Mexican lager you like. Yeah. No, don't do that. That just might ruin
it's warm. No. It doesn't do anything for me.
Can we think of a worse drink than a half-made diver down?
Yeah. Oh, how'd you wash down that Malort? Warm cerveza.
Warm Pacifico, and just put a shot of Malort in it. It was great. No, it is not. Not cool. All right, Shawshank Inception.
Oh, the guy meant Tyree Wilson. So I just haven't got a chance to watch all of Tyree Wilson's pass rush reps. I know that he had going into last week a 0.0% pass rush win rate, which is not good. But I haven't got to watch him yet. But I will make sure. See, I have tomorrow mostly free. I'll check him out tomorrow, and I'll tweet some thoughts out. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, there's a get off thing there. The first 3 weeks, his get off was terrible. Like, clearly behind everybody else. And I mean everybody else, which is weird. I didn't really see that. There was some of that on his tape at Texas Tech, but I didn't. It wasn't consistent, so I wasn't super worried about it. The first 3 weeks, he was late. Like, he was just late. Boy, Borum is...
It's fighting me.
Yeah, Larry Borum is... So, there is a nickname for a previous Chicago offensive lineman, Gate 68.
That's good. I like that.
Borum is doing his best Gate 68 impression on Chase Young. Look, Young is a very talented athlete and pass rusher. Despite all the hue and cry this offseason that he was going to be traded and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. Like, he's a good football player. Borum's finding that out. Like, it is difficult to keep up with Chase Young because he's a very talented athlete. Like, he's an alien when he takes off.
I'm trying to find that missed super chat from Joe.
Chase is whooping Borum. Yes, Sean from the Go. Indeed. Chase is indeed whooping Borum. No doubt.
I'm just happy to see him healthy, man.
100%.
Ages for $5. I need a recap of what's happening this game. I've been working late. The Bears are winning. Komet has receiving TD. Health froze over. So DJ
Brett's
Moore.
Drunk on Malort.
I'm drunk on Malort. DJ Moore basically just set a torch to these corners early on, and Jack Del Rio refuses to play anything but man coverage and quarters, so he's leaving them out on islands, and Justin has punished that with some nice throws. Could have been even more if he hit the ones to Mooney. So Washington is lucky that it's only 27 points at this point. And pass protection, for the most part, has held up.
Yeah, sometimes, again, better lucky than good. I was lucky that there was no Malort within shipping range, and the Bears are a little bit lucky that although they didn't start Tevin Jenkins, he is now on the field at left guard because Lucas Patrick got dinged up. Never rooting for a guy to get injured ever, but, that means that former left guard moves over to center and Tevin comes in at left guard and they've looked, again, I would agree with you, reasonably solid since then. And look, it's always fun to see Tevin maul people. So I'm just glad to see him back out on the football field, healthy, banging into guys, try and make lanes in the running game. Like that's fun football.
Oh, Joe said Bears beating Commanders is not an event worth dying for.
True. I don't think any football game is worth dying for, because the funny thing about dying is you don't get to see more football games, like, ever.
Oh, you mean
So,
I get to not watch any more Bears football? That sounds like motivation to me, Jay.
hey, a couple of years ago you would have said that about the Texans, and look at you now.
That's
You
true.
actually have
That's
you have
true.
a real football team. So, hey, Khalil Herbert is back walking around on the sidelines. That is great news if you're a Bears fan or just a football fan in general. It's a dynamic player, twisted his knee, looks like he's back out of the tent. Looks like he might even come back into the game if he needed to. I imagine that they will play Travis Homer, who is their third string running back. And
I mean, you're correct. Third down, yeah,
third down, third string, both. No, Herbert looks good. He's testing it out.
Uh-oh.
Like, I've certainly seen players.
Somebody else is hurt. Look like it on the sideline. Thought I saw a Bears defender hurt. Couldn't make out a number though.
All right. EB going wide here. He's trying to get options outside. Got it. That was Brisker in coverage. Is that Gibson, 24?
Yeah, that's Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson on Brisker. Good matchup, but Brisker didn't win that one. Had a very good rookie season. Has not been as good this year, but has still been playing somewhat consistently. But he just, he can't keep with Gibson on the turn. And it's a bullet by Howell. That's right in the numbers.
Homer's questionable now too with a hammy. They got nobody.
Well, okay, Kari Blasingame for 100.
Well, unless Khalil comes back.
Yeah, or we're just going to run Justin, or we're just going to throw screens all night, or run orbit motion to Bayless Jones.
People forget that Antonio Gibson, by the way, was a receiver in college. Like these go routes are familiar to him.
Just a note here. Howell's heating up. This is, if you're a fan of Kirk Cousins' gameplay, like, Howell's heating up.
There's going to be a lot of people that take that the wrong way.
No, when Kirk Cousins gets hot, man, he is tough to stop. And Howell is starting to hit the territory where he's just letting it go when he sees it, and it's on target. And that's tough to stop. Perfect throws are indefensible in the NFL.
So chat
he's going to get lit up. He didn't see it. Backside DB blitz. Howell doesn't see it. Stroman again. Stroman's having a game. Like,
so somebody asked me to pull up the slip and see how we're doing. So I said under on Sam Howell on 2.5 sacks. That stack right there is basically the last one we can take. So as long as he doesn't take another sack the rest of the game, and as long as Terry somehow gets 4 first downs in the last quarter and a half, we're good.
The milk carton job by Terry McLaurin so far is notable.
That's why I put him to get first downs tonight, because I was like, oh, the Bears are down Jalen. Like, they don't really have – I mean, Tyreek's probably the best corner on the field for them right now. Like, I thought it was a lock for Terry, and he's just got nothing.
They're not throwing to him, which is, to me, staggering.
It's unexpected, considering the target share in the first 4 weeks of the season where it was Terry. Not what I expected.
No, I would agree with that. One of the more unexpected results of this game, although we have several that would qualify for that category.
Howell sacked just like Kirk.
Howell just made you money. Sam Howell is one tough son of a gun, and he just made you money.
Oh, man. I don't know how he got out of that.
Exactly my point. Like, I love Sam Howell. Like, I just love Sam Howell as a quarterback. Like, I'm really happy to see him get some shine and have more people pay attention to his game. But stuff like that is like, you just can't quantify stuff like that from a quarterback. Like, he takes a couple of shots, runs through another tackle, fakes another guy, and decides, I'm not done. I'm going back in bounds for 7 more yards. Like,
are they going to go for it on 4th down here? I would.
Nah, looks like a field goal to me. All right. They'll take the 3. They get them.
I don't know. 4th and 2 this far in.
Oh, for those of you that have said keep up, so second glass of Egan's single malt Irish whiskey, the Fortitude, which is an aged cask version. Good stuff. Preferred over ice. It is much more pleasant than Malort.
I bet, EJ. Kevin Von Magnum for $5. Brett, give me the drunk. Your keys. I hope I read that correctly. Anyway, which teams are in the best position for the playoffs in the AFC South after 4 games? The Jags.
We talked about this on the recap.
Yeah, which is coming out tomorrow. The Jags still don't entirely look themselves. They're not a bad team, but they don't entirely look themselves. But the entire division's 2-2. Like, they're all neck and neck. As far as who is playing the most cohesive football right now, it's the Texans. As far as who has the highest ceiling, it's the Jags. As far as who has a quarterback who can single-handedly say fuck you to whatever your game plan is and take over the game by himself and do stuff that does not make sense in terms of the laws of physics, it's the Colts. And then in terms of the team that against all odds just refuses to die, it's the Titans. If I had to bet who's going to win the division, I would still say Jacksonville because, again, we're only a month into the season, and I still don't think we've seen the best game that Jacksonville can play. But as far as who's looked like the best overall team right now, especially considering the circumstances, all the injuries, I would say Houston, truly. So I guess it just depends on what you're asking is who's played the best football so far versus who is probably going to be the division winner in the end. What say you, EJ?
I don't disagree. I love the way you segmented them at the top of that. Like, this is the strength of all 4 of them. This is why I would bet on them. This is if I had to say, why they would be there in the end. I love those designations. Man, the Texans have played exceptionally well so far. Like, better than I think anybody, even the most staunch Houston supporter, would have called for. Like, they've played really, really, really well. And it's been great to watch. We really thought that D'Amico was going to be a great head coach whenever he got that shot. And he is living up to every bit of that expectation so far. And I love it. It's just more good football for us to watch. And a lot of players that we really liked. We've loved their draft for the last couple of years. They have some holdovers that they're getting the most out of. It's a fun football team. I've said, openly, I'm jealous of the Texans. They're a fun young football team to watch right now. Super, super cool. So Chris Eads for $5. Chris, thank you very much. Sam Howell is Baker Mayfield CMV. Baker's playing really well this year.
People compare him to Baker because it's similar build, and
I get it.
Yes and no. Like, yes,
yeah,
I think Howell's more mobile, but yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some absolute no in that, like yes and no, and the no part is important to bring up what the differences are. But to be fair, for the Letterkenny fans out there, to be fair, Dave Canales has made Baker Mayfield look real good this year.
I would say Howell, in terms of what those differences are, though, just so we can be clear. For me, I think Howell's better within the pocket, and especially throwing deep outside the numbers from within the pocket. Whereas Baker, I think, is better outside the pocket and throwing on the move. I think he's more accurate on the move. So for me, it just kind of depends on what type of system you're trying to run.
Oh, jeez. What the hell?
Hey, you're definitely a few seconds ahead of me.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he caught it.
No, it's an amazing play. Like,
Whitehair's got to stop snapping.
No, Whitehair's got to stop being a center. Like,
Yeah.
tell me again why they didn't draft JMS, why they didn't draft Olu, who played very well for the Seahawks versus the Giants. Like, the guy across the line who's not playing as a center. Yeah, I will never understand why Poles and his staff decided that, no, we're good at center. Like, Lucas Patrick is fine. After seeing Lucas Patrick in the fold last year, it's not like you're guessing that a free agent's going to be good. Like, Lucas Patrick got blown up on the regular last year, and they went into the draft, looked at a very good center class that was super deep, and went, nah, we don't need one at all. Like, we're not even going to touch that. And I will never understand that. And here we are with, yes, a better blocking center. Whitehair 100% is a better blocking center than Patrick, but he is a terrible snapping center. Oh, look out. Uh-oh.
Am I going to have to drink right now?
Not quite yet, but maybe soon.
Oh, man. Who was that? Was that Forbes? was that Emmanuel goddamn Forbes that tried to jump that route and missed? Was that 13 that I see? Oh, Emmanuel. Oh, Emmanuel.
He's gambling. He missed it by a half inch.
Oh, he didn't even try to. So he was just swatting at the ball. Dude, wrap up.
No,
what are you doing?
There's no wrap up in that game.
Wrap up.
All right, Kari blasting game, firing away in the run game. I told you.
You can still chop at the ball while having your other arm on the receiver. What the fuck are we doing here? Come on now. God.
All right. Prodigal Prodigy, $5. Looks like Australian. Some schematic mashup reasons for Washington why they're able to push Philly to the wire last week, but now lose this one if they do eventually. How is this team this inconsistent? There are some reasons, but the Bears are pushing the ball down the field, as we just saw with DJ Moore. And if there is a weakness, it is consistency in the Commanders secondary. And the Bears 2 weeks ago, like, this is just where you hit people in the schedule. If the Bears had played the Commanders 2 weeks ago, wouldn't have mattered. Bears couldn't push the ball to anybody versus the corners with any consistency. So it didn't matter. But suddenly they found a bit of their stride pushing the ball outside the numbers versus Denver. They've continued it. They want to push it to DJ Moore, and you're seeing it. He had 2 touchdown catches in the first half. He just had another big reception here, at the end of the third quarter. It's just sometimes the matchup and the timing of when you hit a team and where they are in their stride doesn't match up. Right now, the Commanders, all the strength of the Commanders D-line, it's being a little bit negated by the luck of the draw that the Bears had an injury and they were able to bring Tevin in, and Tevin's probably a better power matchup for their interior defensive line than what the Bears have been rolling for the first month.
Chase Young is really the only one who's had, he's had like 10 or 11 pressures already so far, but which I know sounds like a lot. But if it's also the only guy getting pressure,
all the pressures,
I will also say on the other side of the ball in terms of, why Washington was able to put up a bunch of points against the Eagles, but not against the Bears. Different coverage structures, I would say. The Eagles play a lot of a quarter, half, and a half, quarter. That's like kind of their bread and butter. And the Bears play mostly either true quarters or so far they play a lot of cover 3. So in terms of how you can attack those two coverages, I would say, like for instance, in terms of getting vertical against half, quarter, it's different in terms of getting it against true quarters, right? It's, for me at least, I would say it's easier to get vertical concepts against quarter, half, and a half, quarter, because especially against half, quarter, you can kind of overload that safety fairly easily. in terms of working the deep middle of the field. Whereas against true quarters, you can still work the middle of the field, but it's not like there's going to be guys wide open. It's more so you're throwing against leverage, and you got to make some difficult throws down the field. But at least it is essentially just man coverage with extra steps, right? Whereas against the style that the Eagles play, like there are going to be just wide open dudes deep down the field. And then cover 3, which the Bears play a lot more than the Eagles, is a relatively safe coverage, especially deep down the field. So I would just say it's difference in coverage structures. The Eagles play a defense that, honestly, they play a fairly similar defense to what Donatel played in Minnesota last year that got him fired. Not advisable to me, but they tend to lean into it. They barely play true quarters. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that made sense.
It was a long rant. It made a lot of noise, but it was indeed factual, and we like that. My hope for the Bears as we enter the fourth quarter is that they do not go too conservative here, is that they still find a way to push the ball, and they're going to do it. Oh, he missed him. Oh.
The pain in your voice.
That would have been 3 for more. He missed him by 6 inches. Like, he didn't miss him by much. He missed him by a little. Stop and go. He gets him straight up NFL open. Ball, I think, not quite hits his hands. Just, that's 6 inches maybe. Like,
there's been 4 balls in this game that have been missed by a collective foot and a half.
Yeah, I mean, the Mooney one, that one. And Justin knew it. He knew he just barely overthrew him. Great route, great move by Moore. He was wide-ass open for a touchdown. Like, that is NFL wide-ass open. There is nothing else for that. But the fact that the Bears are up 30-14 and they're missing wide-ass open touchdowns is stunning. Like,
half shot for me, by the way.
I am trying even mentally not to keep track because my stomach does flip-flops just thinking about it.
I think we're at, let's see, so we had 4.5. The turnover got me to, so I think we're 5.5 or 6 at this point. Somewhere around there. I don't know. Who's counting? Many. Once you get past 5, oh, no, I spilled it. Once you get past 5, it's all the same.
I appreciate you not just flicking that onto the floor because I would have.
Cheers to you. Chat.
Cheers to you.
You dicks.
I still love you because I'm not drinking Malort, but that's only half of us. No. He can taste it, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, the pace has slowed down on these, so the flavor, the aromas, the terroir has come back.
The terroir, the notes, as it were. The primary note, if you've not had Malort, is listed as gasoline, and it's not far off. Like, that's pretty damn accurate. I just want to say thanks to everybody. We've had so far a very good year. We're putting out 3 pieces of content a year, or 3 pieces of content a year, 3 pieces of content a week this year. We're putting out our recap, usually Monday. This week it was Wednesday because we were traveling. Thursday night live stream, which obviously you're all here for. And then our previews, which come out on Friday. I'm doing Bears Over Beers on Wednesday night with my partner, JB. Obviously, Brett's got film room, stuff he's doing for the Chargers, stuff he's doing for the NFL. We're clicking right along. We got some really fun news to announce here in the next couple of weeks. Again, that's because of you, because of all the folks that have supported Bootleg throughout the summer. We had tremendous growth during the summer preview series. Got big plans for stuff that's going to go on around the All-Star games and draft season.
Oh, we got out of it. Yes. The slip is alive. Let's go.
Sam Howell is paying you off right now. Sam Howell is making it happen for you. What I love is the Bears are actually bringing pressure for the first time in all season. They just decided for the first 3.5 weeks that rushing 4 straight up with no stunts was the way to go. And suddenly now, 5 is a thing. Twists are in there. Woohoo! But no, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's ridden with us since the beginning. Everybody that's new jumped on board, this summer with the summer preview series. All the analysts around the country who came out of the woodwork this summer to say, hey, these guys just put up a preview for my team. And yeah, I work in the market, but you're never going to see anything better. We deeply, deeply appreciate that. And it's made a big, big difference. And we're having a hell of a time, and we're just going to keep doing it.
Eventually, I want to find a way to get some help in production for that summer series, because we keep making a habit.
We're gonna need it next year because we just keep turning the dial. And this year, the dial almost turned us.
We keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger, against our own self-interest, honestly.
Oh, I have some location notes for you.
Of course you do.
I just in the last week I was like, So yeah, we're always planning bigger and better. Brett, if you don't know, his big thing is 1% better every time, and we try and hit that, and eventually you just hit a tipping point or a breaking point. And for me, it was the first episode of the summer preview series, which we shot in your living room. It was the first time we'd used a 3-camera setup, and I was proofing that. It was about a week and a half after I was down there, and we shot it, and our editors, our great editing team, got back to me, and I was about 15 minutes into that thing, and I was like, whoa, okay. Like, all the 1%'s added up.
Yeah.
Like, this looks a little bit like a studio show. We knew the content was a little bit better, but it was just the combination of location, production, and content. And I sat back and went, all right, fans are going to dig this. This is clearly different and in a very good way. And it just rolled from there, and we just tried to keep up, quite frankly.
Hope you guys liked it, by the way.
Oh, they liked it. Numbers say they liked it a lot. We started off with the NFC North, and we figured out that Detroit likes their team a lot this year. It was our first episode to go over 40 grand. And we saw in week 1 that the Lions fans were traveling en masse. It was the first time that I've seen a Lions game in Lambeau Field where there was like a significant Lions contingent. Are they going to rule that a sack?
They better not.
They're going to rule that a sack.
Fuck. Well, there goes the slip.
Yeah, I think the slip just might have died a very slow death. That's probably going to get ruled a sack, and rightfully so.
Well, I don't know if they count intentional grounding as sack.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Like officially?
Yeah, if you force it.
Like like Dexter will get a credit for a sack.
Yeah, what else are you going to get there? I mean, how else are you going to play? But it's forced intentional grounding.
I don't know. I'm trying to cope. I'm trying to cope here, okay?
Dude, I imagine. Going back to Storm DXD for $5. Is it crazy to say that Dak isn't the best QB in the state of Texas?
It might be. Oh, he didn't hold on to it. Fuck.
I don't know about crazy. It's early to say that. Certainly, Dak's had more sustained success than CJ Stroud, who is a month into his NFL career and playing very well. It's not crazy. It's just early. If that comes to be true a month from now, cool, call me. It's possible. Is it definitive at this point? It's just a little early. But the fact that we're even having that conversation, that we're even entertaining it, means CJ is just really absolutely good. Vibing with Slowick, and it's a fun conversation. Like, is it better to have 2 great quarterbacks in the state of Texas than 1? Hell yeah. So, for us, it's fascinating. Remember when I said Howell was heating up?
Fourth quarter Howell, here we come.
Yeah, no, legit. Fourth quarter microwave Howell, here we come. Like,
he is Kirk Cousins, huh? That's who's confidence.
If Kirk Cousins could run, he might be.
Yeah.
Like, Howell isn't absolute gamer. And I again, just love it. I was on record this summer as saying I was a Howell stan. I love it. Here we go. Moving pocket. Does not get him. Came close. Great defensive play.
Matthew Wright for $2.
Elijah Hicks.
PPR, start Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson versus the Broncos. I would start Garrett Wilson.
I would start Garrett Wilson just because overall ceiling, but can't go wrong either way. Both players are good there. Man, Elijah Hicks, look at this. That's a great defensive play. Let's go. Bears are playing some inspired football tonight. I appreciate that. I get very few opportunities to say that.
To close on that ball that quickly from how far leveraged inside he was is impressive. That's tough to do.
Let's go,
That's
Terrell
really
Smith. Terrell Smith paying it off again.
This Island of Misfit Toys defense is coming through.
Watch this. Boom. It's behind him. That's a little bit on Howell, but come on, he's in phase. Half step away. All right, here we go. 3rd and goal. 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Down by a bunch. What do you got, Washington? What do you got?
Yeah, that was a bad ball from Howell, by the way.
Got him.
To who?
Curtis Samuel in the corner. They basically run scissors on the outside, and Bears broke it. They're not happy. Hicks is not happy
that's
about
just
this.
a little dragon concept, little slant flat, and they just busted it.
Totally agree. They busted. They let him go. 22 knows it. He thought he had a switch. He thought he had a release. That's just a communication error in the secondary. But Howell pays it off. Commanders get the touchdown. They're within 10. They're going to go for 2. Could make it an 8-point game here.
So the rule that got messed up is because they brought the DB off the edge. He still thought that they were playing banjo rules on that, but a blitz can kind of override that where it's just supposed to be your guy.
Oh, no. How are they going to rule this?
I haven't seen it yet. Hold on.
Oh, you're going to see it.
Yeah, they're going to call that a sack. Ooh, maybe. Ooh.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
I
don't know.
And 2 points are weird because 2 points don't really show up on the stats.
If they call that a pick, I think I still have to do a half shot. So I don't know.
They won't. That's the thing is 2 points like disappear off the stats. For those of you that are folks that like record, baseball games on your program, nah, 2 points just disappear. Like shit that happens on 2 points like never happened.
We had a super chat here from Josh Mickelson for $10. Did the Bills solve the Dolphins for the rest of the league? Do you think teams were able to do what Buffalo did? No. And we talk about that game tomorrow. We'll go to more in depth, but a lot
the
of
answer
it
is no.
A lot of it was, the Dolphins had this three series kerfuffle where, they had a drive stall due to penalties, but they scored easily on their first 2. Again, the first 5 drives of the game were all touchdowns, right? So it's 21-14. The drive stalls due to penalties. They come back, get the ball in the next possession, 3rd and 2. Tua throws a bad ball behind Mostert. Okay, 2 punts in a row. Meanwhile, Buffalo's still scoring. And then the 3rd drive, they have the fumble. Buffalo scores again. All of a sudden, it goes from like 21-14 to 31-14.
Okay, just interrupting for a brief second. Chat, this is why I absolutely love Brett Coleman.
Why?
He is hammed off his can on Malort, and he just accurately recounted the first quarter and a half of the Miami Buffalo game, verbatim.
Goddamn right I did.
Fucking love it. This is why we bonded in the first place. This is why we still have a hell of a good time doing this.
My point being, though, that game got out of hand almost immediately, not because the Dolphins' offense, but because the Dolphins' defense, right? The Bills just absolutely shredded them, and then the Dolphins just had a 3-drive misstep, And then all of a sudden, the game script totally changed. They got away from the run game, which was working. Achane was tearing them up. And then they got away from the run game, and it landslided from there. But, like, I swear to God, if that one drive didn't stall from penalties, because they had, like, 2 penalties, which put them in third and forever, if that one drive didn't stall, the entire game complexion could have been very different. So I'm not going to say they solved them yet, but they just proved that if you make a mistake against them, the Bills' offense is good enough to just fucking bury you. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, there are very few rosters as good as Buffalo. So even if you quote unquote know what's up with the Dolphins, there's not a lot of rosters that can go toe to toe with them on offense and defense. So did they solve them? I don't know. How good's your roster? You know, if Philly played the Dolphins, could they quote unquote solve them? Probably, because they've got the athletes to go against them on both sides of the ball. A lot of teams just don't. Like, the Dolphins are going to roll a lot of people because they've got Tyreek, because they've got Tua, because they've got Mostert, because they've got Holland, because they've got Jalen Phillips. Like, the Dolphins are just going to run over a bunch of people because they're freaking good at it. The Bills, on the other hand, are at the peak. Their window is open. You know, they are Super Bowl eligible at this point, and they got a great game from Josh. Another high snap from Whitehair.
I'm just going to call that a pick, by the way, so I'll do a half shot.
Sure. Great. Okay, cool.
Because they didn't call it a sack, so I'm just going to call it a pick.
That's cool. I don't live at your house.
I mean,
I don't have to deal with you tomorrow morning, so go.
It's not like it could do any more damage, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. You know that park over by your house where we went to the international market?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do more damage.
It's one of those where it's like, you know, hey, if you're jumping from the 10th story versus jumping from the 12th, does it really make a difference? No, you're probably going to die anyway, you know? Like,
now,
whatever.
Your air resistance is not going to make a difference.
To death.
Okay, didn't get that. That was okay. This is what I was saying about the quarterback run game not looking super inspired from Chicago. Like, they kind of tried to do this.
Go on.
No, go on, he says after making animal noises. No, Fields gets out on the edge here, and it's like, you know, basically 3-on-1. Like, there's a quarterback run game like Steichen calls it, and then there's a quarterback run game that Getsy calls that looks like that.
Matthew Wright for $2. Can we get a drunken O-line film breakdown video? Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
Idea. Yeah.
We can do that. 100%. Now, what we need to do is like get Jeff and get him
just hammed. Yeah.
If he does that and then do it, that would be awesome. Like, I'm 100% in.
Or grab Brandon Thorne and just get him torched out of his mind.
See, I don't know if Thorne gets hammed. I would imagine
he's like former Army, dude. Thorne. He's military.
Yeah, I was gonna say former Army.
Wasn't he a Ranger?
You know, I don't think so. I think he was regular infantry, but again, like, not that that's any step down. So Brandon Thorne, friend of the program, been on with us at least three times. One of the best analysts, just like we talked about JT earlier, one of the best analysts going, period, regardless of platform, specifically on OL, but you know, also on DL, strangely. You know, has some great stuff. Go check out his Substack, subscribe to his stuff. Brandon's amazing. Super fun. But yeah, if we can get him or Jeff like ready to go. And I mean, look, Duke has his own beer now, and both of those guys work with OL Masterminds. Both those guys work with Duke. So, you know, Hop and Sting, which is a great brewery down in the DFW area, does Duke's beer for him. Like, come on, this if ever a sponsorship opportunity was presenting itself, like, provide the beer for all of us to get a little bit ham to do some OL evaluation. Like, I'm in. 100% I'm in.
Bro Schmo for $20 says, love the content, boys. Keep up the great analysis. I appreciate you, Bro Schmo. Really do. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping us build this thing. And more specifically, thank you for helping me pay for all of the liquid IV I'm going to need to buy tomorrow.
Yeah. It's going to be a thing.
I really should drink more water, huh? All I've had is just like a singular LaCroix.
Yeah, no, you should probably like get an IV going.
Especially because like just the screen is kind of moving. So
you got two, aim at the one in the middle.
You're just kind of moving like a constant little circle there. So it's probably not a good thing. So
Been better.
So it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny. You never really know how in deep you are until you stand up. I have not stood up yet.
I am very glad for that fact.
And I want to wait till we're done with the stream to stand up because I am not 100% sure I'm going to stick that landing. So we're going to do that one off camera. Okay.
He got a 4. He got a 4. For those of you not familiar with gymnastics, a 4 is not good.
Brett isn't
Sam
drunk.
Howell,
He's
man.
suffering from heavy metal poisoning.
Both?
Yeah, both, really.
Got E on one screen, Jay on the other. Don't pop the cork. Yeah, don't stand the hell up. Like, I fully understand, there are some high school party memories of, like, sitting down and going, no, man, I'm not getting up till everybody leaves. Like, I'm going to sit right here.
And you're like rural Western New York high school parties in the 80s. That's a whole different level of high school party.
Trust me. So I was down in Texas, in Austin. One of my friends from high school lives in Austin. And I stayed with he and his wife when I was down this last weekend. And yeah, it's funny. I think Sarah, his wife, fears me a little bit because I'm one of the old friends.
Yeah. You know where the skeletons are. Yeah.
That's true. In full disclosure, we went out and saw some live music in Austin, which I would highly recommend for anybody. Like Austin, great live music scene. Everybody knows that. I've not been out to see live music in a bit. My buddy bought us tickets to go see this great band. Took an Uber, went down, had a good time, saw this band. Both of us got up the next morning and realized we had exceeded our limitations by a little bit, not a lot. And so we both had a fairly rugged Saturday morning. We were not sharp on Saturday morning. I will say I was completely fine on Saturday morning until I stepped out into the heat.
Yeah, because then you had to go to a Texas game at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, we didn't know.
Sun.
This was before that. We actually went out to his property, which I didn't think I was going to get to see, which is about an hour outside of Austin. I was fine during the car ride. I was fine in the truck, AC, no problem. Got out. He needed to do some chores on the property, and I stepped out into like the 95, 96 degree heat. And I was like,
just feel your soul leave your body. Yeah.
I don't feel so good. I'm going to go sit down inside the house in the AC. We managed to right the situation. My particular unlock was a spicy 3-meat sandwich from Buc-ee's.
Oh, Buc-ee's is the cure for everything.
And this is the real key, by the way, our slip just went to hell because the Bears got a sack.
Oh, I wrote that off a long time ago.
No, straight up.
I'm like fucked. Yeah.
Well, I know, but our slip is also in trouble.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And then I still wasn't feeling right. And then I realized that I had not had a sip of coffee all day. So I had to pull over at like a Quick Trip and grabbed like a 16-ounce Starbucks like iced coffee and just pounded that sucker. And that was it. That was the unlock. After that, I was good to go, ready to go sit in the 95-degree heat, watch.
Oh, fuck it.
You know,
Howell ran into that one too. He didn't need to run into that.
I'm telling you, he is absolutely.
He is Kirk Cousins.
He can be. Yes, he can be.
Come on, Sam.
There it is. Went so far, dead. R.I.P. the slip. R.I.P. the dream. Indeed.
Oh my God, what a first down from Logan Thomas, selling out and diving for that though.
Yeah.
Also, Bear is 100% in danger. 7 minutes, 10-point lead. I don't trust that at all. Not against fourth quarter Howell. I do not trust anything here.
No, I don't feel particularly like solid about the outcome. However, I will flash back to Logan Thomas and say, if that guy would just play tight end, he would be TE1 in this draft the year he came out. Everybody was like, he's a quarterback. You should blah, 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 blah. I was like, hey, is he though? And, now it took him about 2 years to make the like quarterback to tight end transition. And, then holy cow, he's a really athletic tight end. He's got great hands. Wow, what a weapon. I was like.
Also, I will say this of his previous history as a quarterback. Not many arms can compete with Josh Allen. He was one of them. That dude had
he's a cannon.
Not a cannon. He had a fucking rail gun attached to his arm.
Yep.
That dude could throw the football. Not accurately, but he could throw the football.
That's the thing is people fall in love with arm strength. Many of us do. And it is not everything. You do need a full range of other skills to play quarterback. And boy, when a guy can whip a ball 75 yards on a line, we all go, ooh, isn't that pretty? Like we all get suckered to a point. And one of my particular pieces of growth as an analyst has been backing off that and being like, yeah, so how's he under pressure? Like, how's he on third down? Like, how's he moving the pocket? Like, I love the arm, and the butt is the biggest thing there.
Chat says, can I just say the best outcome for the Bears is to choke this game? I would normally agree with you, but on the night that Dick Butkus passed away, you got to win one for Dick. You can still get the first overall pick at 1-16. Okay, win this one for Dick, then just lose the rest of the year. You're fine. But you don't have to go winless to get the first overall pick. Like you can still get Caleb with one win. Just make this the one win. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, pick your spots.
Let's be honest. They probably won't win another one anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. Big shout out to our clothing partner, Homage. I was very happy to have this particular T-shirt in the drawer, which I got over the summer. Period specific, of course, for the Butkus era. Felt appropriate tonight. Some of the softest and most comfortable gear going. They've got an NFL license, but the fun thing about Homage is it doesn't stop there. They've got pop culture stuff, movie references, national parks. We're going to be debuting some stuff on the podcast that is outside their football sphere that we think is really fun. That stuff should be here next week, so you'll see it pop up pretty quickly in the podcast.
Did you see what I got?
I did.
From
I
Homage.
saw your order.
So for people that don't know, they have Legend of the Hidden Temple. And again, this is a very niche thing, right? So if you're like...
It is a very niche thing.
If you're like over the age of 30, you remember this on Nickelodeon when we were growing up. But they have Legend of the Hidden Temple. They have the Silver Snake shirts. They have the Blue Barracudas. And then they have a crew neck of Legend of the Hidden Temple. So I got that. Like, that's my fucking childhood. All right, so... Ooh, people!
Yep, I've got stuff from Point Break, Glengarry Glen Ross. They've got stuff from... Big Lebowski, you name it. Anyways, check out Homage. We couldn't be happier to have their support. Best gear in the game in terms of comfort, softness, washability. Like all that stuff is amazing. Every time I wear my like retro Seahawks hoodie out around here, people are like, where'd you get that? I'm like, check out Homage. This stuff's great. Yeah, some big news coming with them in the next couple of weeks, but thanks again for providing gear, sending us new, fresh gear every quarter. We really appreciate their support.
They called PI on that?
They did. They threw a flag on that. Well, we did say they should throw to Terry McLaurin, and they did eventually, and they got a PI out of it. So there you go. Stevenson is just marked.
Oh, wait. Hold on. They might not have called PI on that. They might have said no penalty.
Yeah, Stevenson is just a marked man at this point. Like, he is going to have to rein it in until he can throttle those flags down.
They picked it up.
They did pick it up, but he's aggressive, and he's going to draw those for a bit until he can. We knew that was the book on him coming in. big physical guy, gonna play press, gonna push the envelope. Gonna have to figure out what that limit is. And he's still working on that.
He was one of my corners this year where I was like, I can fix him. He's a bad boy, but I can fix him.
He's a bad boy, but I can fix him. Okay, fourth quarter Howell is in effect here. Look at this layering throw from Howell.
Good pocket, too. Man.
This is pretty stuff.
Yeah.
That is a tough throw, folks. That is not an easy NFL throw.
Especially from a really compressed pocket where young quarterbacks tend to panic. Like, no panic here.
Literally right between the numbers. Like, right between the 1 and the 7. That's
ball. Great ball.
Great ball.
That was good.
Oh! Thought he had it. Just waited a second. That was your boy. That was the one.
Yep. Oh, man. just left it 3 feet too far to the outside.
I know. That's just a shank out of bounds.
This is so Kirk Cousins, it hurts. Swear to God.
I mean,
man.
I swear to God, add running ability to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And that's Sam Howell. Uh-oh, Terrell Smith going in the locker room. That's not cool. We don't like that. And then 27 limped to the bench. Jeez. What's going on here?
It's been kind of a brutal night for injuries. Both teams have taken several at this point.
A little bit. But how many people had the Bears leading by 10 points with 6 minutes to go?
Not very many.
Not me. 100% not me. But I also didn't have them blitzing.
They can blitz. How about that?
They have not blitzed all year. Like, why now? Just to screw up my predictions? Like, okay, go ahead. Rugged stuff.
Worked though.
It
was kind of it kind of looked like a 4/2 with, I think it was 5 coming. It was a really interesting blitz where, like, if they had a hot built in at all, that thing probably would have got housed, but it didn't look like they had a hot built in. Uh-oh. Tremaine grabbing his calf. Hope that's just a cramp. Oh, it was a coffee house. Oh, wait, no, I recognize that blitz. The Giants ran that in the Super Bowl. So if you go back to the 2007 season in the Super Bowl, the Giants ran that exact fucking blitz against the Patriots and got a sack on Tom Brady in the second quarter. I'm trying to remember the exact name that Steve Spagnuolo had for it, but I'm telling you, the exact blitz with the coffee house and then the will overlapping to cover hot inside, or to cover a potential hot inside. Like, that is the exact blitz from 2007.
That's a tremendous catch by 8, by the way. Like, that ball was well behind him because Howell had to get it out in 0.0 seconds. And great catch. Just athletically, great catch.
I wish I had So I have a playbook from the 2008 Giants, which is the same playbook from Spags. I wish I had that on this computer because I would have pulled out that blitz, but...
Yeah, Brett's memory. Bro knows ball. Yeah.
I may be drunk, but I never forget a fun pressure.
No. Honest to God, if you don't, Clint Hurt has been primetime viewing over the last 2 weeks for dialing up fun pressures.
I like Clint Hurt.
He's balling. He's in his bag over the last couple of weeks. Like, yeah, the Giants line is ass, but those 11 sacks didn't come out of nowhere.
Well, they just called it again from the other side.
Yeah, the week before that, I was at Panther Seahawks, and yeah, the Panthers line sucks too. But like, I put out a tweet during the game. I'm like, man, Clint Hurt is dialing up some fun stuff. Yeah. So if you're into pressures, defensive pressures, check the Seahawks over the last couple of weeks.
Chat is asking how I know that.
Because Brett's Brett. That's why.
Because I'm a degenerate. Oh, did he miss it?
Yeah.
He missed it.
He did. He missed it.
A, I'm a degenerate. B, so the NFL, in all of their graciousness, gave me the all-22 from that New England who'd they play? Giants. I can remember the blitz. I can't remember the fucking team. The game, the all-22 from that game. And then I talked to a buddy of mine who gave me the playbook, and then I made a video on that game because, of course, Spags in the same stadium 15 years later was playing against Hurts and called a bunch of similar pressures from that 2007 Super Bowl. And so I did a video on that for the NFL channel not too long ago, so I just had that committed to memory. But I will say, fun fact, on that 2007 Super Bowl, as we see a 1st and 10 here from the Bears, which looks like they're just giving it to Kari Blasting game to try to ice this thing. Fullback runs, love to see it. But on that 2007 Super Bowl, there was the point of that video was there was a narrative that came out of that game where the Giants just called cover 2 all day and they rushed 4 and the defensive line did all the work. Not factual. The Giants blitzed the shit out of Tom Brady in that game, right? The narrative was they rushed 4. That is not true. They rushed 5 and they rushed 6, but they did it in a whole bunch of wildly crazy ass ways. And so Steve Spagnuolo, the reason why I did that video is I wanted to show that Steve Spagnuolo's blitz packages were really the turning point in that Giants Super Bowl, not just them sitting back and playing cover 2, but then Spags called the same blitz packages, like literally the same blitz packages against Jalen Hurts, and Hurts beat all of them in the Super Bowl last year. So where was I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this, but it's the same shit is what I'm trying to say.
You were talking about Spagnuolo's package, and I lost you there. But Fitzy does not like you. Double shots for missed field goals. Fair down.
Okay.
No. He wasn't serious. Don't do that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't do that.
Fine. I'm here for your entertainment.
I'm just telling you, this is, previous EJ saving Brett tomorrow.
It's fine. I got most of my work done for the week. But I will say, the Friday episode, you're going to have to watch that one. I'm not going to be able to proof that. That's on you, bud.
All right. I will proof it tomorrow morning when the editors get it to us. That is fine.
Fitzy, you asshole. I love you.
We do love us some Fitzy. Absolutely. Hi, my name is Brett Coleman, and this is Jackass.
Oh, Great. It's coming all the way back around. Now I taste it more.
Everybody's like, no. I love it. Chad is absolutely against you beating your liver, which
I feel like it's like enhanced itself as the bottle's gone on.
It's like Picard.
Like I'm in the heart of evil right now. What the fuck?
Enhance. Oh man. Travis Homer, questionable. Roshan Johnson, out. Khalil Herbert, questionable. Like, wow. The Bears running back room, which was absolutely the pure strength of this roster. Like, let's make no mistake. That is the best room in the Bears' entire building. It's completely ravaged in one night. Unreal.
How many shots am I up to, chat?
No. Don't count those. I'd say it's like 6.5, 7.
Oh! Fuck. Oh, no. EJ, this is bad. This is bad for me. This is real bad.
I don't know. I'm behind you now.
This is not good.
Oh, yep. This is ugly for you.
This is not
I'm just
good.
watching it right now. DJ with his 3rd touchdown. Let's go. Oh, my God. My condolences to your wife.
I tried to put the cap on backwards. This is a good sign.
Oh, man. We do have some fun doing this show, I'm telling you. All right. Does that mean I need to go with you? Is this a thing? Yeah. All right. I need to go with you. I don't feel like I can shove you out the door. That's sort of like standing at the door of the plane going, good luck without a parachute. That's not cool. All right. No, my heritage does not allow that.
Fucking why today?
Mostly this is Fitzy's fault. Let's be honest.
What? Oh fuck.
Let's put the blame where it goes. Hootie Bird, 29. Oh, Fuller.
It hit
That's
his
Fuller
hand.
again.
It just hit his hand and bounced in.
It's Fuller again. Oh,
All
the
right.
stop. All right, here we are.
I'm only 40% through the bottle.
Jesus, that's awful. All right, you ready?
To the Chicago fucking Bears.
To DJ Moore and Alpha
Wait,
wide
hold
receiver.
on. To Dick Butkus.
To Dick Butkus. Indeed.
Nothing.
You're dead to me. It's done.
I think I just cleared on the last shot. I think I cleared the hurdle, where that was just like the last fight it had in it, and I won, baby. I just faced down the monster. Okay, it's got nothing. You can't kill what's already dead.
I think face down is appropriate for this particular description of what's going on.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me, motherfucker.
That's right. That's right. King Kong could not beat you tonight. Tomorrow morning, he'll be able to walk over your
Stare
grave,
down the beast and won.
Oh, wow. That is tremendous work, not only from the Bears, but also from you, my friend.
Tomorrow's going to suck.
Oh, yes.
It's going to suck so bad.
It's going to hurt a lot. There is no getting away from that. Did they just get another sack?
I think so. Also, I really have to pee, and I'm really afraid of standing up. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, luckily, the bathroom is like 8 feet away from you.
I'm not confident in getting that 8 feet, to be perfectly honest.
Me neither. All right, Sam Howell goes down again. All of a sudden, the Bears decide that pressure is a good thing. 2nd and 21. Whew.
Yeah,
not a down and distance.
The sack slip has just fallen apart for me.
Yeah, no, not a down and distance the Bears have faced very often this year. 49. DJ Moore has 49 fantasy points on my bench.
Dude, I'm already dead, man.
Another sack. Oh my God. I gotta say, this is one of the most improbable results.
No, it was completely probable because I said that I was going to do shots when they scored. Like, this was 100% predictable.
I agree with the curse. The curse is driving this, and couldn't be happier right now. Like, don't think it's possible.
You know what? I'm coming around on Malort.
Really? That means you've had enough.
I'm coming around. I see,
You see the light at this point?
I get it.
Okay, the light might be a train, just saying.
I'm just, if you want something that tastes like wormwood and mud
and ass and gas,
I get it.
Fitzy! Oh, come on, Fitz. We love you, but that's excessive. $49.99 on a super chat. Brett Coleman is best night ever on Malort. It's difficult for me to argue with Fitzy, and I'm not going to because you're an absolute beast. You're one of our executive producers. We deeply, deeply appreciate your support here and at Bears Over Beers. The Bears have had a good night. Brett has had a good night to this point. Like, it may go downhill from here, but to this point, it's still a happy thing.
We'll always have this game, EJ. We'll always have this game.
And again, former Bears legend, Ron Rivera. This is the thing. My only worry is that people think Eberflus is somehow competent after this game. That's dangerous. I'm going to take a shot of 120 proof rum with y'all. Johnny 547-611, because I guess 547-610 was taken. Really appreciate the super chat.
I appreciate you going down with us, Johnny. All right.
Yeah.
You're willing to go down with the ship with us.
You realize that when this is over, you get to shut it off, try and stand up and go to the bathroom. I have to reset in 10 minutes and go do a post game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about. I might just like sit here for a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
I might just do that.
You have an advantage, and I'm just gonna say, take advantage of the simple machines you have at your disposal. That chair rolls, and you can get close.
I have a sleeve of saltines just calling my name in the kitchen. Just.
I forgot to tell you.
House it.
I forgot to tell you what the halftime fare was at my house.
What?
Rice.
Fuck. Yeah, you're cheating, man. You're cheating.
They made rice. Like, they had rice and stuff, and I was like, no, I just want the rice. So, sometimes it just works out in your favor.
MJ's flu game or Brett's Malort game. Either way, can't believe no one said this. I'm dubbing Fields the Malort Mahomes.
Another bad snap. What are we doing?
Thank you, JF Soccer. I appreciate you.
All right, Brett and EJ, thanks for making another TNF blowout. Fun as hell. That's what we're here for. We hope that we're providing content that you enjoy. We chose to suffer interestingly tonight. Look, if you like this, if you're into this, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you're with us at this point, you are our people. Purely.
If you don't subscribe off of this, then you just
it's not happening.
I can't even form sentences at this point.
God. Cole Rubens for $5. Cole, thank you very much. Brett, stand up for us and do a jumping jack.
Okay, hold on. There's a lot of glass right here. You probably don't want to.
And a lot of expensive glass. I know that liquor cabinet intimately, quite frankly, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. Like, we don't want to ruin that.
Fuck, half shot. Here we go. God damn it. Okay.
Dude, 37-20 with 2 minutes to go.
40 burger, baby.
Cairo Santos.
40 burger.
Like, they're gonna hang 40 on the Commanders. Like, what happened here?
If you've defeated Malort time for absinthe next game, I feel like absinthe isn't as bad. I feel like now. I mean, at this point, I can't complain about absinthe.
No, I mean, honestly, you could drink mouthwash next game and be okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the final boss. This is the final boss. Like,
that's it's got to be the final boss. I can't think of anything quite as nasty. And I've had liquors from all over the world. Like,
this is the disembodied hand in Super Smash Brothers. Like, once you get past it, like you're good.
I mean, if you're talking about Tyson Punch-Out, to go back a little farther, like you're getting right up towards Mike at this point.
All right, hopefully, through God's grace, this will be the last one. We'll see.
God has
you're burping? You're burping? Get the fuck out of here.
God has abandoned you.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah. Long time ago. That's obviously true.
Nothing.
Brett
Unfazed.
Like, unfazed. Your taste buds.
No, I taste nothing. All right, Brett, I'm going to try to stand.
My Giants can get Caleb. Okay. Don't do that.
I'm going to try to stand.
Nope. It's a terrible idea. I'm just going to go on record. That's a terrible idea.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's possible. Doesn't look good, but it's possible.
I survived.
Now I just want you to hit the chair. Hit the chair, buddy. Hey, hit the chair.
Stuck the landing.
This is reminding me of a Perna stream more and more all of a sudden.
Oh, with much more damage to the body.
Well, a little bit.
Now, keep in mind, I didn't take any steps, so we'll see how that goes.
Right. No. This is like the 2 floor prints when you stand in the thing at TSA. Like, that's what you did.
What an athlete. Eric, you asshole. Oh, fuck. Brett, show us the bottle.
You did it! I love the chat reactions to the fact that you actually stood up.
So I'd say we're a solid 40, because it was up to here, right?
Dude.
So we're like 40% in.
Dude.
Maybe close to half. Not quite half, but close to half.
Any amount of that past the neck is an MVP performance, period.
I mean, when's the last time the Bears scored 40 points? I thought I was clear. I thought I was good.
I thought I was in the open, man. Oh, my God. No, so not. As soon as Fitzy reached out to me, because the way this whole thing unfolded, Fitzy reached out to me and said, so if I could get a bottle of Malort and send it to Brett, would he want it? And just so you know, the arbiter of your destruction was me.
It just showed up. No. It just showed up, and I was like, did Fitzy have my ad? Oh, that prick. I knew it was you immediately.
100% me. Like I said, okay, Fitzy, here's the deal. We trust you because, look, you've sent us wonderful stuff in the past, like 100%. We know that you are committed to the bit and the brand. You cannot share his address, but look, if you can get him a bottle of Malort by Thursday, then why not? Like, we should definitely do that. Yes, it was me. I am the arbiter of your destruction. Sorry.
Chat, do you have a count on total number of shots?
At this point, it's like 7.5.
Because we had, I don't know how many touchdowns, and I don't know how many field goals, but I think we had 3 total turnover shots, which is 1.5. Plus, let's see, how many touchdowns do we have? 4, right? Yeah, I think we have four touchdowns and 3 field goals, so that's another 1.5. So 7 shots, right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was like 7.5. That was my guess. All right. I'm gonna scroll.
7.5, maybe.
Chats. Yeah, we were losing super chats here because chat is super active, and the fact that we are like in the final moments of a Bears Commanders game, and we have this many of you here and this active a chat, I can't thank you enough for the engagement, the involvement, everything else. Nicholas Coyote says,
first 2 supers been here a year. Thank you, boys. Well, we thank you, Nicholas. We wouldn't be able to do this without people like you that support the show and support the growth. And the fact that, again, like EJ said, the fact that all of you are still here this late in the game is crazy. It's crazy. And I know you're waiting to see me just get absolutely sloshed, which is part of it. But at the same time, you're choosing to spend a Thursday night with us. We appreciate that.
And they got to see you stand up, which is a bonus.
I managed to do it.
You did.
Carlos Peterson for $2. If not for DJ Moore being out, Bears put up 50. So was it a quote unquote out? Like, was there an actual injury there, or was it like, okay, we're calling off the Dogs?
Yeah, it's amazing that that's even a question that the Bears might be, quote unquote, calling off the Dogs, because they've had 0 dogs all year. The fact that they could be in a position in any game to say, oh, well, we don't want to like embarrass people offensively. Like, come on, like, come on, embarrass them offensively. I'm of the Dan Lanning school here that I'm like, no, we're gonna bury them. We're not done at halftime. We're gonna keep stepping.
The Dan Lanning interview was hilarious because
I love that.
about all the we don't do this for clicks, we do this for wins. It's like, you invited the camera into the locker room. What the fuck are we talking about here?
I mean, Dan Lanning, that was a huge setup. Just to be fair, like
it totally
Dan Lanning,
was.
He's been building SEC West for 2 years, and he was like, the Dion guy just got here. He has no lines. I'm going to stomp his face. And they did. And it's not surprising or anything else, but like, he did not let up. He just said, nope, this is what we're going to do. We're on it.
Are you still going to USC, Oregon, and Eugene?
Maybe. I have an email into their SID, so we'll see.
Because I think I'm probably going to end up going to Washington, USC the week before. So,
yeah,
I'll get my look at Caleb and Penix. You get your look at Caleb and Nix, and then we'll come together during draft season.
We'll compare notes.
Yeah.
No, I might take our good friend Alex Katzen if I get a couple of tickets to Caleb's trip to Eugene, and then also have a chance to go to a couple of UW games. Just for those that, maybe follow the draft earlier or are interested in college football, what the offensive coordinators are doing at Wazoo and UW right now, like, watch that shit. It's super fun.
Cam Ward, by the way, playing out of his fucking mind.
His OC at Wazoo, like, again, that mesh between OC and Cam Ward and OC and Michael Penix, both of those relationships right now, this is what makes me deeply sad about the death of the Pac-12 is right now, Bo Nix included, like, the Pac-12 is playing better football than it has in like 15 years, and it dies next year.
Yeah.
So it's sad in that regard, but don't be sad it left. Be happy it was here, and watch what's going on at Wazoo and UW right now offensively. The UW offense, and some people are going to get on me for this, but might be the best offense in the country right now.
You could argue it.
It is a fair argument to say right now what's going on at UW is special offensively.
Rounding up super chats here before we get out of here. Chad for $2 says bear down.
Oh my God. You left more on your bench?
I told you I left more on my bench.
No, dude, 8 for 230 and 2 scores.
I'm well aware, EJ. He was at 28 in the second quarter, EJ.
Dude, he crushed.
I'm aware.
Okay, just a shout out to Underdog, our primary sponsor for the next few years. This is why you play best ball. It doesn't matter. You don't need to put them in your lineup. If they're on your team, you get the points. Holy crap.
Yeah, this was insane for him.
Sick.
Mr. Louie for $10. You damn fool. Love y'all. Thanks for the content. Thank you for the support, Mr. Louie, as well. Again, cannot do this without you guys. Really do appreciate you. Shawshank Inception for $5. Plot twist: Brett knew the Bears would score 40 with 3 turnovers because he actually loves Lamore. Loves Malort.
No, he does not. Yikes, but no yikes.
Oh, man. The fact that you guys are still donating money to us after this shit show, I appreciate all of you. Louis, Shawshank, all of you guys. Appreciate all of you. Anthony Blackburn. Oh, God, Anthony. $50. Thank you. Very much thank you. Brett, I benched DJ Moore. I feel like I need to be drinking shots of Malort with you at this point.
Tough to argue at this point. If you, that's, you're in the bad beat category. If you had DJ Moore on your bench at this point, like 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, like, come on.
So he's at, let's see, what is he at? Oh, Jesus. So I don't know if you can see that. Hold on.
Oh, it's not pretty.
You see that 48? 48 next to DJ Moore. Like, come on now. I just single-handedly lost my week.
That is a all-time bad beat.
All-time.
Max Robinson for $9.99. I think you guys missed this one a couple of weeks ago, but Brett, that Melvin film room was 9 years ago. I was a sophomore in his high school. You sounded so young and full of hope. Jesus Christ, we're getting old. And you think Brett's old? Damn, son. Like, that's all I got to say is, damn, son. I get up in the morning, too.
Yeah, Max, I was 23 years old when I made that. Believe it or not, I was a kid when I made that, not knowing what the hell he was doing. But almost a decade later, here we are.
Yeah. Big thanks to everyone that's ridden along with us tonight and every other night in this 4-year journey. It's been a hell of a thing. We're looking forward to big things in the future. We're enjoying what we're doing right now, and a large part of that is due to you. Like, the energy, the power tonight came from chat. This was not a matchup, a game that anybody really was looking forward to, and we all came together and had a hell of a time. So thank you so much for that.
I'm only going to do a couple, or I'm going to do the last few before we get out of here, just so that we acknowledge the folks who support us. Sam Hayes for $2. If you go to a New Year's game this year, Cincinnati/KC. I wanted to go to Bengals Chiefs, but fun fact, my lovely wife's birthday is on January 1st. She is a New Year's baby. And I believe that if I went to a football game across the country on my wife's birthday, she would not appreciate that. So we are staying in California. We're going to go out to dinner and have a grand old time for my wife's birthday. Actually, what we might do, because we do like to get out of town for her birthday every year, we've done the last few years, like we did Bourbon Street for New Year's for her birthday, and then we did some national parks in Utah last year, and this year I think we might take a little drive up Big Sur. So
Ooh.
I think that's what we're going to do this year for her birthday.
Big Sur is awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sheldon Wong for $5. Brett, now that you're unfiltered, can we get your thoughts on Desmond Ridder? Good God.
Now that we have you tripping over the curb, can we get a real thought on somebody that's bounced off the bottom?
It has not been good. Decision-making, accuracy, pocket presence, you name it. It hasn't been good. And a lot of people get frustrated with the lack of production for Drake London and the lack of production for Kyle Pitts. Telling you, you get a quarterback in there that can really spin it and make good decisions and survive under pressure, the production for those guys will not be an issue anymore. Okay? So it has not been good.
Yeah.
And I'm not there's not been really very many redeemable things there. Like, it's just not been good. Like, they are actively calling their offense to not give their quarterback the ball. Okay?
Yeah. They're taking it out of Desmond Ridder's hands, like 100%.
And then last one here, Q Johnson for $2. Thank you, Q. Next stream, Moonshine.
Oh, white dog.
Thoughts on Mizzou so far? I have not watched a second of Mizzou football yet, but I do plan on watching all their draft-eligible dudes. I know they're top 25 this year, right?
They got a kick-ass wide receiver. If you want to talk Mizzou football, our buddy Tucker Franklin, who works for KCSN, big Mizzou fan, has a Mizzou podcast on KCSN as well. They have a wide receiver who is leading the entire country in yak, as far as I know.
Oh, is it Quentin Johnston 2.0?
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, probably not 6'4", 215, but still. Yeah, no, I'll get to the Mizzou guys when I get to draft season. But I haven't got to watch any Mizzou games this year. I've honestly mostly watched Pac-12 games because that's all the teams that I'm mostly interested in. But I'll get to Mizzou eventually.
Project 1337 for $2. Appreciate that. You good? That was like 8 shots. Yes.
Hey, man.
Like 8 shots.
I went to college. All right. I'm a seasoned veteran here. Did I tell you what my first legal drink was on my 21st birthday?
No, I don't believe we talked legal.
So my 21st birthday, I had class till 10 p.m. And then my classmates found out that it was my birthday that day. And they're like, oh, let's go to the cantina across the street. Yeah. So I go to the cantina. And again, I was freshly 21. I didn't know how to drink yet. And so they're like, what do you want? And like, I didn't know any cocktails or anything like that other than one. And the one cocktail that I knew, I ended up getting 4 of them, was an Adios motherfucker. Which is vodka, rum, tequila, and vodka, rum, tequila, and gin. I think all in one. Blue curacao. Yeah, not a great May 10th for me.
That is a tremendous setup right there. That is bad news.
So, word of advice for those of you that are under 21 that are in this stream: don't do that. And when you're getting your first legal alcohol, just get like a nice 4.5% beer. How about that? Do me a favor.
Yeah, something straightforward that doesn't have 3 different kinds of alcohol in it. Good choice.
All fighting for supremacy? Yeah, don't do that.
No, don't do that. It's a bad idea. For those of us, you guys deserve your flowers for everything you do. You are appreciated. Cheers, Gaten. $4.99. Appreciate that. We try. We're trying to keep the flame lit here, trying to educate people as we go and have some fun along the way. And for folks that think that's a cool deal, we appreciate you hopping along. Again, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that you don't have to forget that we're live on Thursday night, pretty much every night this year, or every night of the season this year, I should say. And other than that, I don't know. What do you got, Brett? I gotta take a bathroom break and then get ready for Bears post game on Windy City Gridiron with Bill Zimmerman.
I'm gonna go eat some saltines and try to pee, and we'll see what order we do those in. Might do them at the same time. Who knows? I don't know. We'll just see how this night goes. Anyway,
I love that answer. I so love that answer very deeply. My condolences to your wife, and I will see you on Monday for our recap pod.
For the rest of you, we'll be back tomorrow with our Week 5 preview show that we recorded a long time ago before we got drunk. And yeah, come back tomorrow for that. See you later.
All right.